Hello everyone and welcome to the eFootball Championship 2026 Arsenal FC Club Finals. That's a tongue twister. So we're back home in our studios for the third live event finals. Proudly brought to you by Canal and in partnership with, of course, Arsenal Football Club. So today we have 8 finalists who are going head-to-head online from our console platform and our mobile platform. And they are going to be going for this prestigious trophy right here. But this is not the only thing they're competing for, guys. They're competing for something bigger. The golden ticket to represent the Gunners at the World Finals. Amazing. What more would you want? What more could you want? So we have an electrifying couple of games ahead of us with some of the best players in the eFootball scene. So without further ado, let's kick off the Arsenal FC Club final. Your host for today's action-packed finals, and I'm so excited to be walking you guys through this amazing competition. But of course, I'm not alone. I've got 2 fantastic analysts that are going to be helping me through this, and they know the competition all the way throughout. Here with me, we have Harry Channon and the one and only Barry O'Halloran. How are you guys doing? It's Valentine's Day, love is in the air. How's everything?
Is in the air, Giselle. Yeah, it's fantastic to have you here. It's fantastic to be back in the studio. 2 more world finalists we're going to decide today. And it's the day of the Gunners. Obviously, Arsenal Football Club, one of the biggest clubs in England. Definitely looking forward to seeing who, Barry, can strike the hottest today and punch their ticket to the world finals.
Yeah, it is Valentine's Day, as you said, but there will be a few broken hearts here today. You know, I think that's what's going to happen. And, you know, I do think today is going to be really exciting. It's great to be back, especially with G2 guys here. We've got a big action-packed day ahead of us, serious talent on the console, rising stars in the mobile. It's going to be a brilliant day of action.
Amazing. Well, yeah, broken hearts, let's hope not. We don't want that. But cool. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm going to talk you through the format of the competition here. So the Arsenal FC Finals features a group stage on each platform played in a single round-robin format. 3 points for a win, 1 for a tie, and 0 for a loss. The top 2 players from each group advance to the grand finals. All matches, including the grand finals, are single game encounters. In case of a tie after 90 minutes in the grand finals, there will be an extra time and, if needed, a penalty shootout. Don't know how good that will be on Valentine's Day, penalty shootout, guys. And with all that being said, let's meet our finalists. So we have Binong Boys from Indonesia, Hassan Pajani from Iran, Nexa from France, and Serginho from Colombia. Harry, talk to me a bit more about Binong Boys.
Yeah, all 4 players there absolutely stacked, Giselle, but this man probably has the most accolades under his belt. The 2024 FIFA E-World Champion with Indonesia. It's so surprising to me to see this as his first club finals, honestly. He's been there, done that, got the T-shirt, but this is his first chance at qualifying for a World Finals through one of our club event finals. Can he get it done here today? That's the big question. I think he's definitely going to be one of the favourites here today.
Okay, looking forward to watching that. Hassan Pajani, Barry.
Yeah, as Harry said, I mean, another player, it's his first club finals, which is hard to believe, but this guy has got a huge reputation and a huge, you know, talent as well. I do feel like he is definitely one of the favourites as well. He probably put a lot of pressure on himself to do well today and to go that step further. The format itself today, will it suit him? You know, he is kind of a more patient player. He likes to control games, but yeah, hugely experienced, and I do feel like with his group stage there in the qualifiers, he had some tough games as well that will probably stand him. So as Harry said, the console is stacked today with a lot of really talented guys, so it's going to be difficult.
Nice. And we have Nexa from France. Harry, talk to me.
Yeah, next up, one of the heavy hitters from European eFootball, most certainly, is well and truly versed within this studio. Obviously, he has been here and done that. eFootball Pro Champion of 2022 and 23, was an MVP of 2023 as well. His second ever club final appearance, qualified for the Barcelona finals last year, sadly got knocked out in the group stages there. Lucas Lorge, I feel like this year could well be his year. Just looking at some of his results on the way here, he had to take down some big names, survived every test so far, but this club finals will be a different kind of beast.
Nice. And last but not least, Serginho from Colombia.
Yeah, then on the flip side to that, you know, the proven players today, Serginho, I think even by his own admission, like, he is kind of the wild card in the console today. That's not a bad thing. You know, we all like an underdog a little bit to see how he could go today, but I definitely feel he, you know, the Americas regional winner, you know, it's a tough region, so the fact that he's qualified, I mean, he's here based on his skills, and I do think he'll be looking to take down a couple of the big names today and, you know, put a stamp on his card. So I do feel like, yeah, it will be an interesting one for him with a breakthrough season for him, and he could throw a couple of different things at opponents today, so it'll be nice to see that too.
We do love a wild card. We do love that a lot. So, following their results on round 4, we will have the following matchups in the group stage. So, match 1, we have Binong Boys versus Hassan Pajani. Next up versus Serginho, and next up versus Binong Boys. Harry, those 3 matches, those 3 fixtures, what does that look like for you?
Oh, they look really, really strong, Giselle. I mean, obviously we'll have a chance to get a look at every single one of our console players here today, but I think that first match in particular will really set the tone throughout the rest of the live streaming. I mean, Rizky Faidan, aka Binong Boys, against Hassan Pajani. Those 2 are probably the favourites on paper, but then you look elsewhere, Nexus, Serginho, it's so tricky. Those first 3 matches look very, very tasty.
Yeah. And then that's not where it ends. We have another 3 matches. We have Hassan Pajani versus Serginho. We have Binong Boys versus Serginho. And then we have Hassan Pajani versus Nexa. Barry.
Yeah, another 3 brilliant games as well. I mean, Serginho gets a bit of the bad luck there with his back-to-backs. You know, those 2 games against the two boys are going to be very difficult. It's going to be interesting to see where it's going to be at once we go into the 4th match, the 5th match, Harry, as well, because there is some heavy hitters in this. One, you know, strange or crazy result, which we will probably get, could shake things completely up. That it could go down to the last couple of games, which will be exciting for us and exciting for everyone at home as well.
Lovely, love that. So the 4 finalists of the mobile platform are, we have Neopon Sui from Japan, we have Jamon from Thailand, we have SLA Iniesta from Morocco, and we have Christy from Jamaica. Harry, Neopon Sui.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Neopon at his first ever club finals. By the way, 6 out of 8 of the players we have across console and mobile making their first ever club event finals, which is really fun. But this guy also has a bit of experience under his belt. In the EJ League of last year, managed to get to the final 8 while representing Urawa Red Diamonds, a Saitama-based football club. So this guy definitely knows how to make it deep into tournaments, and just looking at some of the names he had to contend with in the previous round, yeah, he's going to be one to watch for sure on mobile.
Thank you. And Jamon for Thailand, Barry.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, I mean, you know, he's only 15 years old, right? So that is in itself an achievement to be here. He's also been at these club events this year, you know, already. And I do feel he'll probably be a little bit disappointed with the last day that he didn't really produce it in every game. He showed, you know, there's like signs of brilliance and stuff like that. But I do feel today, will his youth be, you know, a hindrance on him? I don't think so, because he's super calm. You know, I know Harry really rates him as well. He's very, very talented guy. But I do feel like now maybe it's the time that he wants to push a little bit further in this one, and Arsenal might really suit him as well today, especially at the back defensively.
Wow, 15 years old. Do you guys remember what you was doing at 15 years old? Was you competing at this level?
No, definitely not. No way.
Not much.
Not a chance. And we have Iniesta from Morocco. Harry, talk to me.
Yeah, he's got big shoes to fill, does Iniesta. Obviously, last year our Arsenal champion was Anton Tienes, one of his countrymates, also from Morocco. So the 18-year-old, obviously his first major tournament, will have a lot to aspire to. Has taken down, you know, a decent amount of players on the way here. I mean, Apple Mashvili is probably the big name, most recognisable name from club finals there in that semi-final. But yeah, I think he will be the, well, the third in a long line of Moroccan players, if he were to make it to the World Finals, to qualify to that level. They have such a strong hotbed of talent down there in North Africa, Morocco, in terms of eFootball Mobile.
Very, very, very impressive. And last but not least, Christy from Jamaica, Barry.
Yeah, another young rising star as well, only 16. And it's kind of unusual, you know, to see an America's regional winner from this region, I suppose, which is, you know, just goes to show that anyone can get to this stage if you're good enough and you want it bad enough. But I do feel like he, you know, in his first major tournament, the mobile setup here today, like, it's just all rising stars. I mean, me and Harry were talking about it. Like, there's serious potential for not just now. Obviously, you want to win today, but it's for the future. So I think him getting experience, that's what he's emphasized. He wants to get experience, and he wants to kind of, like, you know, let this stand him today. And then obviously, if he wins it, that's brilliant as well. He'll feel he can win it.
Definitely. So many young talent in that group. So excited to see how that goes. So following their results on round 4, we will have the following matchups on the mobile group platform. So we have Neon Sui versus Jamon, SLA Iniesta versus Christy, SLA Iniesta versus Neopon Sui. Harry, talk to me.
I'm looking at match 1 again of that mobile platform. Just sort of Neopon versus Jamon. Those are two players that we're looking at from a side of the world that is historically really, really strong at both console and mobile versions of eFootball. Yeah, I'm looking at those two probably to set the tone again for the rest of the mobile players. And I think it's so important that you put your best foot forward in every single match in the group stages. You don't get a second chance, Giselle, at these points in the group stages. So definitely avoid defeat at all costs.
All to play for then, all to play for. And then we have another 3 matches. We have Jamon versus Christy, we have Neopon Sui versus Christy, and then we have Jamon versus SL8 Iniesta. Barry.
Yeah, I think match 4 stands out to me there. I think Jamorn will definitely, if he gets a result at the first match, which I'm sure he'll be hoping that he can, even though he's going to have his work cut out for him against Neovan, but if he can get through that and be still in it with match 4 there, I think that's the one that he'll hone in on. But we don't have any bad matchup today. I mean, this is just completely stacked on console and mobile, and you know, a lot of these guys are really going to cement themselves as the future of eFootball, I think, here today. So it's I'm looking forward to it. I'm hyped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice. Me too. So here are the schedule of the matches that we'll be fortunate enough to see on the main stage. So we have console match 1, we have Binong Boys versus Hassan Pajani, and then match 2 we have Nexa versus Binong Boys. Match 3 we have Binong Boys versus Serginho. And on the mobile side of things, we have match 4, which is Neopon Sui versus Jamon. We have SLA Iniesta versus Neopon Sui, and then we have Neopon Sui versus Christy. And then of course we have the console grand finals and then the mobile grand finals. What can we expect from these pairings, guys? What are you thinking?
Honestly, Giselle, just looking at the first 3 matches that we have, it's almost like a smorgasbord. It feels like it's a Valentine's Day chocolate box where it's just a selection of goodies for us, Barry. I mean, those first 3 in particular, I mean, Nexa, Binong Boys, Hassan Pajani, Serginho, all 4 on the console.
Yeah.
We definitely expect them to put their best foot forward and raise the curtain nicely on this Arsenal finals. But then again, you look at mobile, they're also strong over there as well.
I think what it comes down to it as well, who's going to use the players the best, because like talent-wise, these guys are probably at a level that they will nullify each other to a certain degree, and especially on mobile, I know that there's a lot of rising stars, we keep calling them, but they'll know their games of their opponents, and they'll have kind of done a lot of analysis on it. The console is kicking off. I mean, that is I know you're really looking forward to that console battle at the start.
I can't wait.
Now, before we dive into our first finals matchup, here's a quick reminder. You can grab 500 eFootball points just by clicking on this viewing campaign banner in the game. Don't miss out. Take advantage of this opportunity and join the stream now. And of course, for all the latest updates, competition details, and exclusive news, make sure to follow the official eFootball pages. And also, make sure you go to the eFootball website, where you can find all our exciting announcements. And now that everything is set up, guys, it's time for the first game. And we can witness the first match of the finals of the console platform between the 2024 FIFA E World Champion and the Western Asia Regional winner. It's Binong Boys versus Hassan Pajani.
name is Rizky Faidan. I'm from Indonesia. Of course, it's a great feeling. If you are here, you have to be the best in your region, so I'm proud of it. It will be a very proud moment for me to represent one of the biggest football club in England, and I think Arsenal is one of the strongest available team to use in the football championship. Actually, all of them will be so tough to play against, but if I have to choose one, it would be Nexa for me because I knew him. He is one of the best in Europe, but previously I never saw him in a tournament, so I don't really know how the way he play football right now. I have pretty excellent records in several tournaments, so it might be efficient for me to maintain that result. I will doing everything to win that title. I need to be ready to face the best players across the world.
Hi everyone, my name is Hassan Pajani. I'm so happy to be here. It's a result of hard work and belief. Arsenal is massive club with great history, and I honestly believe they are one of the best teams in England right now. My plan is focus on my gameplay, enjoy the match, and honestly for sure I want to have the best result. And everyone can be champion, and for sure I hope that person will be me. Honestly, I'm not thinking about being in top 2. My mindset is winning the tournament. My main objective is have a good football, good gameplay, enjoy the game, and for sure win the tournament.
You can see our players are ready to go. They're just analysing and making sure that their lineups are all good and proper, Barry. But it was great to hear from both Binong Boys and Hassan there. Do you think there is an element of Hassan Pajani wanting to make sure that Binong Boys knows his name? Because when asked about who he was most worried
a bit
about,
of mind games, Harry.
didn't say
That's
Hassan
what I like.
Pajani.
I like the mind games, though. I
is
like
fun.
it, and especially when Binong Boys is saying, I don't really know how Nexa plays eFootball. I mean, these guys know everything about everybody, in the scene. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a cracker.
That it will. We are now underway between Binong Boys and Hassan Pajani. The Arsenal FC Club Event Finals of 2026 is now underway. We have Binong Boys in the home strip, the ever recognisable red and white of the Gunners, and red cursor changed strip for Hassan Pajani, who's going to have to defend here early on, as Erdegaard has a chance to try and drive at the defence there, but looks as if Hassan Pajani wants to play direct. Either way, Binong Boys got the ball back. Oh, that's a rocket! Outside of the box. Nice double touch onto the left foot. Kai Havertz into the back of the net.
Perfect start for Binong Boys. I was just noticing there that Hassan Pajani, I was just about to say, he's gone, one blue, that he was just going to withstand the pressure a little bit and probably just try and hit him on the break. That's gone completely against what he probably had planned in the first 5 minutes as well, Harry. That's a big, big blow for Hassan Pajani.
Yeah, we saw it shift onto the left foot. Not sure if he got the full double touch animation off. We'll see it again here on the replay. Either way, left-footed strike is good enough for Havertz and Binong Boys to fire into the lead. What a strike! And I wonder, was there a super cancel in there, Barry?
It looked to be because we didn't even get a chance to really, to set up there. We just need to give us a chance, boys, to get in here. There's goals going in, after 5 minutes. But I do feel like that's the dream start. It looked like he kind of super cancelled out of it. It's a good observation, and just got the shot off. I think Hassan Pajani was just caught a little bit cold there. That's what it was on the break.
I think you're absolutely right. Confirmation. Binong Boys with the latest goal.
Now Hassan Pajani's not going to panic. He likes the possession. He likes to control the play. It's important that he doesn't go away from that early doors against the player of the talent that Binong Boys has, because that could be dangerous for him.
Could indeed. Here's one of the more exciting player cards you can use with this Arsenal team. Eberechi Eze. We spoke about it off air, didn't we, Barry?
We
Probably
did.
one of the most exciting cards to use at the moment, thanks to that dribbling attribute he's got. Corner to come first, though. Eze away, and it's that magnetic dribbling, isn't it? It just makes it so difficult to steal the ball off.
Yeah, and you can see in the hands of Binong boys or any of these top guys, I mean, it's going to be very difficult to get the ball off. Those type of players, Arsenal are blessed, the squad is blessed with a lot of top-rated players in the game and top talented cards in the game. So Binong boys is having a nice spell of possession here since he kicked off, really. Sampajani probably just not settled yet.
Yeah, you can see the intention. Just trying to settle himself here, maintain possession for 3 or 4 minutes and then decide to spring forward, but nothing really working for him so far. Binong boys, the beneficiary of plenty of unforced errors. Of course, we have to credit Rizky Faidan as well with good defensive work to score that goal. Obviously, reading and intercepting very well. Goalkeeper's come a long way here. And Binong boys tries to go for the strike. I think that was ambitious. Closed down quite quickly by Hassan. And now the Iranian thought about springing a counter of his own, but there's been one-way traffic in the opening 25 minutes. Calafiori needs to try and beat his man here. So patient by Binong boys.
I think both of them are just feeling each other out a little bit now, and just trying to. I'm surprised Hassan Pajani, he's very kind of drawn back, and Binong boys is super aggressive, which I would have thought was kind of flipping it a little bit in terms of Hassan Pajani does like possession, but he hasn't really been on the ball at all, Harry, so he hasn't been able to control the tempo at all.
Yeah, has flattered to deceive so far in the opening moments of this club finals. Of course, gold medalist at the 2019 IESF and 23 IESF championships. Gold medalist at the Global Esports Games as well in 2022, Hassan Pajani. So he knows what it's like to win tournaments and push on. Here he is out with Bukayo Saka, far side. Just holding the ball up, but that's really good work by Calafiori. Great mistake though by Binong boys, cannot be capitalised upon. Well, here's that 1-2, lovely ball over the top, here's the goal scorer. Havertz plays it wide. Saka beats the first man on the press. Can't find Eze in the box.
It's tense. I think they're still figuring each other out, and I think that Hassan Pajani is probably thinking, how do I get on a little bit more of the ball, because you can see he's under pressure even when he's trying to play a bit of possession. There's a very high aggressive press on from Binong boys, and that could be hard to counter as well when you in your first game, you know, you're dealing with it straight away.
Here's Eze.
That's class.
That's the type of skills that this Showtime card can provide. Now into Jesus, onto the right foot from quite far away. Going to be a first corner for Hassan Pajani. 5 minutes from half time. This was good work.
Yeah, you could see that first bit of comfortable possession, and it builds into a really good attack. That double touch again gets it out of the feet. It's a smart save.
Binong boys surviving the first real attempt on his goal here in match 1. Front post the target here, trying to knock it down to Zubimendi, but cleared by the Indonesian Binong boys. Really a press far enough up the pitch here for Binong boys, and now Hassan can continue his late pressure here in the first half. Good tackle and clearance there from Binong boys. Looks like half-time approaching. We're into the last attack of the half territory here, Barry.
Yeah, he's just
like
pulled back.
Go Hassan.
Yeah, he's pulled back. Binong boys doesn't want to concede before the half now.
Is there a last twist in the tail of the first half of match 1? Doesn't look to be, as the ball will be cleared up the pitch, and that will be the half-time whistle. A 6-minute goal by Kai Havertz, thanks to an interception by Binong Boys, means he will lead in the first half going into the second, 1-0.
Yeah, it's more tactical than I thought. I mean, two of these guys, we were probably expecting a lot of, you know, really high octane action, and I just feel like the two boys have just kind of maybe shown each other a lot of respect in that they both know that these are really good, talented players. I do feel like it might open up again, but the first game out is always a little bit cagey as well.
It's always difficult being the curtain raiser, you're right, and for Hassan, he needs to steady himself here in the second half. Red cursor and changed away strip for Hassan Perjani.
One thing I'm really impressed with, for people watching at home, if they see Binong Boys, he's manually adjusting the defensive line. You'll see it now here. He's just done it on his attacks and his defensive shape. And I think it's actually kind of thrown Hassan Perjani a little bit in terms of how much space he has in the midfield. But when he looks to push it into this area, he seems to be under a lot of pressure from attacking players, even Saka getting back there or Eze getting back there. It seems to be kind of throwing him a little bit.
Binong Boys obviously known for his close calls in both co-op and 1v1 in the World Championships of 2019. So far so good in the Arsenal finals. Has to defend this attack though. Eze back to Calafiori. Just doesn't seem to be any lane open here for Hassan. Very patient from him though.
It's a good play.
Near side, can he conjure anything up? Zubimendi. Oh, that's a good tackle. Good step up there by Declan Rice, but met in kind by
It's a bruising
Hassan.
one.
Doesn't want to give up this possession just yet. Bukayo Saka. Is there a final product there? No, Eze's there for Binong Boys, and that, I feel, has been the tale of Hassan's game so far, Barry.
Yeah, it has. I mean, as you called it, Eze has definitely been played a lot with the, you know, he's been played onto the ball quite a bit. Both of these guys are really, really good dribblers. I think it's opening up slightly now, though. It's definitely opening up a bit, Harry.
For this match was 60,179.
So just past the hour mark then. Binong Boys 1, Hassan Perjani 0. These two very experienced eFootball players fighting a war of attrition so far. Now we're past the hour mark. We're sort of into the territory where those super subs could come into play.
Yeah. Maybe Hassan Perjani's looking at that now just to give himself a little bit of a boost. It's just been a very, very tactical setup from Binong Boys so far. I've been very impressed how patient he is. He's not pressing. He's not leaving gaps, apart from this, just as I said it.
Goes to the commentator. Here's Eze. First chance for Perjani to really... Oh, he's gone straight for goal. I was going to say stretch his legs, but he's gone for goal. Here's Saka. Frame of the goal. Oh, that's really nice. Really nice double touch into Gyökeres. Oh, can't quite pull the trigger.
It just didn't. It just kind of bobbled towards him rather than being passed very, very with pace. Because that's a goal otherwise. But what an effort! A moment of magic. We just said it. There wasn't many gaps appearing. That's why these guys are at this stage. I mean, that just came from nothing. Brilliant bit of ingenious, I would say, from out wide. And then, man, that on another day that goes in, Harry, doesn't it? It's just he hasn't really got into the game. I think today, Hassan Perjani.
That was so close. When I saw that blue power bar, that control strike, I thought maybe there was going to be something into the far corner. And then I think the frame of the goal still shaking at this point in time.
Well, if that's me at home, I'm like, I'm cursing it and I'm saying, why didn't that go in? But I do feel like there definitely in the second half there has been more encouraging signs for Hassan Perjani. Binong Boys has kind of gone back a little bit, retreated a little bit. He's still defending quite nicely, but I do think Hassan Perjani's grown into the game now a little bit, and as you said, the subs could make a big difference here.
Yeah, it looks like there's been subs on both sides. Obviously, we expect that at this stage of the competition. Why not if you have subs available to you, and Arsenal have such a strong squad? Why not put them into action?
Number 8.
But following that melee, It will be a near-sided corner
29.
for Hassan. Last time front post was the
Number 10.
option for him. Let's see if he tries something different here.
Coming on the field.
It will be something different towards Madueke. Let's send it on towards Havertz, and Gyökeres is there! Here is the equaliser. Hassan Pajani, for all his second half pressure, is now on the board. He equalises. And you'd say, given what we saw before the corner, Barry, that's probably fair based on the balance of play here in the second half.
That's a justice served goal is what I would call that, Harry. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just a complete, lucky break there. But he does nice to kind of control it. And I mean, that's what you want your centre forward doing. You want him in those areas. It's a simple finish, control with the head, drops, goal. And there's the celebration. I'm sure Hassan Pajani will be running that one as well. Kind of deserved, though, I would say, based on the second half. I think Bin on Boys has just kind of gone back a little bit into, his defensive mode. And Hassan Pajani now is going to steady the ship again.
Well, whatever changes Hassan made have been very effective. As it's now Bin on Boys 1, Hassan 1. Bit of funny business there from the goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper just
will play
didn't know whether to come or go there, and then he decided he was in no man's land.
Here's Declan Rice for Bin on Boys. I think he'll be a bit disappointed for all his defensive work rate and having scored so early on that he now finds himself sharing, as things stands, the points here in match 1. Can he change that? Trossard, Calafiori into the box now. Trossard waiting for the return. Goalkeeper wasn't beaten at his near post, and there was some manual goalkeeping in there as well.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And he made a slight mistake there. I know it's easy to talk about it here when you're analysing it in real time, but I think he probably felt he didn't have as much time on that ball to cut back in, and it would have been a nice simple finish into the right post. So that's just something that he can keep an eye on for future chances. But nice play. That's where Bing on Bong is, I think, really comes into his own, is those pockets of space, those little intricate passes.
Front post again, the destination for the corner. Calafiori and Trossard, they are combining nicely on this left-hand side. After a bit of wrestling over the ball, Bin on Boys back in possession here. Zubimendi just waiting for a passing lane to appear. Be a free kick here.
Yeah. It's probably too wide of an angle to take it on, but this is a chance. Definitely is a chance.
Well, we're approaching the final 5 minutes here in match 1. Played short. Ethan Wary. Who can he find in the box? Just trying to shake Odegaard first. And he's actually unable to do so. Up to big Kai Havertz, but he's dispossessed
as well, wasn't it?
It's been a bit sloppy here towards the 90th minute of match number 1. Nwaneri just playing it back to his centre-backs here, 90th minute. We're in again, last attack of the game territory. It seems to me as if Hassan is just shielding the ball.
Yeah, both men look happy enough with the point, I think, here, which is, I feel it's probably a fair result, unless we get a last thing here.
Could well be. Madueke skips over the challenge. Now, is there a blue shirt to be found? Bin on Boys being tested of his defensive capabilities. Madueke, though, who can he find in the middle? Is Havertz. I think this will be cleared, and I think the referee will indeed blow his final whistle. What a game between Bin on Boys and Hassan Pajani. They share the points, 1 goal apiece. Wow.
I think probably a fair result based on everything that we did see in that game there. Hassan Pajani came into it in the second half, definitely. I feel he'd be a little bit disappointed, conceding that goal early doors, but sometimes, that happens, and it's, the sign of somebody that is going to be, a champion is somebody that is just able to keep playing the same way he plays that works for him. Like that goal there is a lovely, as you said, you called it a cancelled super shot where he doesn't let the animation go fully through. It's switched onto the left foot. It's unsavable, really. But he did keep plugging away, Harry. He did get back into it. I think that would stand him today in the tournament.
Yeah, it was about, 65 or so in-game minutes that Hassan trailed after that goal by Havertz, put Binong boys into the lead, but yeah, didn't give up, did he, Hassan? That first half was a bit of a torrid time for him, but that second half there was plenty of pressure, lots of shots, lots of chances, and it was the corner following the big melee in the box, if you will.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, I think he did deserve the goal, in fairness. I mean, he had chances. That was a half chance. He was kind of knocking on the door for a while, and I definitely think he did deserve that point out of that game. And it could be a big result for him based on, you don't want to lose your first game, do you? I know drawing obviously is not what these guys aim to do, but you don't want to lose your first game out, I think, as well.
So this was the big chance then. Eze inside, we said about his Showtime card being really, really dangerous. Can't afford him any time and space. There were two chances that came from him beating his man. Then this corner was enough for Hassan Pajani to reap the rewards of his pressure. And that was the goal, Barry, that saw him equalise. It was fair enough on the balance of play. It's not the most pretty goal in the
of course. Well, they all count. It doesn't matter once they go in. That's what Hassan Pajani will be saying. I don't care how I scored it. If it's a moment of brilliance, or if it's if it's a lucky enough bounce there. But I mean, you talk about luck and you talk about rebounds and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I mean, his formation is set up in a certain way to have his striker in that position. This was another good chance here. I think if Binong Boys was to get this back, he just probably felt like Hassan Pajani was going to rotate slightly a little bit, but in fact he actually commits to the tackle. You can see here that he's kind of on the ground. I feel like he could have taken that in around and scored, but again, it's easy for us to talk, it's easy for us to talk. These guys know what they're doing. So yeah, a fair result, I think, Harry, all in all.
Yeah, I would say so. Here's the match stats. But in the end, Giselle, it is Binong Boys 1, Hassan Pajani 1. The points are shared between the two. And a very attritional affair. It was very, very tactical in the end.
It was. What a first game to start off with. I don't think I can get over the whole fact of Havertz scoring against Rayo.
It's tripping you up.
It's tripping me up. It's not a concept that I want to see. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and look at some of the results of the other platform and the standings of those so far. So we have Binong Boys and Hassan Pajani, which we just watched, which ended up in 1-1. And then we have Nexa versus Serginho. Nexa won that game 2-1. And then we have Nexa versus Binong Boys still coming up. Hassan Pajani coming up, Serginho coming up, and Binong Boys and Hassan Pajani versus Nexa all coming up. So let's have a look at some of those standings.
Yeah.
How are you guys thinking about that?
Well, after seeing that match 2 result, I think the happiest man in the virtual building, as it were, is definitely Nexa so far. I mean, it's obvious to say that just looking at these results in a vacuum, but when you see Binong Boys and Hassan Pajani play out a 1-1 draw, you get 3 points against Serginho, who's proving clearly with how close he ran Nexa to be a tricky opponent. Yeah. I think Nexa will be very happy with how he's played so far.
I think so. I think, there's going to be no easy games here because you do have a lot of different play styles, and we can analyze it and we can say, right, Binong Boys does this, Nexa plays like this, but these guys have their own plans as well, that if something doesn't go their way, it's very easy to kind of like switch up and fix it because they have such a wealth of knowledge. That's a great result from Nexa. You might say, like, yeah, look, that's what he would have been aiming for in his first game out, and let the two, favourites in a lot of people's eyes battle each other out and a point for them each. Nexa will probably be waiting, licking his lips, saying, yeah, listen, I want to crack at these two guys. But then Serginho might have a lot to say as well if he's running Nexa that close. 2-1 isn't a lot. I know we didn't see the game, but yeah, I mean, nobody's gone yet. I mean, this first game out, all to play for.
Yeah, I think after this round of games, Giselle will probably have a better look at how the console group standings really shape out and who needs what from when and where and who and what and why to see who can make it to that final.
Cool. And so when looking at those standings, if you guys were the coaches, what are you telling the guys who are currently at the bottom of those standings? What are you telling them to round them up?
I mean, I'm a big like. I think if you have a play style, and I know it's easy to say with these guys can play any style better than the average player. So you might say, what's the difference between playing, a really quick counter style of formation versus possession? It's got to do with the space you have on the pitch. I think in that last game that we saw on stream, Hassan Pajani figured it out in the second half. If I was a coach of one of these guys, I would be saying, keep doing what you're best at. You will have setbacks, but keep going to the well. But if it's not working, you do need to make changes. And that's what separates, I think, who wins these competitions, if you're able to adapt.
Yeah, I think, Giselle, there's no reason to push the panic button for anyone just yet. Even Sininho, who doesn't have a point to his name, I mean, it's only the first round of matches. If he can get it done in matches 2 and 3, then you're in a very, very healthy spot. I think Barry's absolutely right. No need to press any panic buttons, no need to change anything too drastically just yet. Let's see where we're at after this next round of games.
Perfect. That's amazing advice, guys. So let's not wait any longer to witness the second match of the finals in the console category between the two-time eFootball Championship Pro Champion and the Eastern Asia Regional winner. We've got Nexa versus Binon Boys.
C'est une évidence. Non, je sais que c'est un grand club. Après, voilà, c'est un des plus grands clubs du monde et voilà, donc on va tout faire pour mieux les représenter. Pour moi, il n'y aura pas de match plus difficile ou plus facile que d'autres. Non, je pense pas qu'il y a d'autres favoris en fait. Pour moi, comme je l'ai dit, on est au moins au même niveau. Après, peut-être Paydan qui est un peu au-dessus, vu qu'il peut faire pas mal de tournois durant l'année. Du coup, on a un peu droit en Europe. Mais après, je pense que Feidan est quand même favori, je pense quand même. Le seul objectif, c'est de faire champion du monde, donc ce sera le champion du monde. Voilà.
Well, if that is not a statement of intent by Nexa, then I do not know what is. Welcome back. Match number 2 of the stream. Match number 3 of the group stages is now underway. We have Nexa in the home strip so far, attacking the right-hand goal, and then Binon Boys this time changing his strip. It's the all blue for the man who played out a 1-1 draw in the first match of the stream, Barry, against Hassan Pajani.
Yeah, I mean, Nexa, those are fighting words I like to see in the VTs. Those are fighting words where he's saying, listen, I'm going to be the champion, I'm going to be a world champion, and that's it. He's super confident. I do think there's a lot of respect shown to Binon Boys in this competition from Nexa. The two of them have spoken very highly of each other. If he gets a win here, it's massive, Harry. You know what I mean? It's massive. But Binon Boys, I think, will have something to say about that. And it's been a very, very aggressive opening from both men.
That it has. It was interesting to hear from Binon Boys say that actually he has never faced Nexa in a competition before, which is crazy to think. These top players, obviously both still 22 years of age, having never faced against each other. It's very interesting. Lots of respect shown, though, as you said. Here is Binon Boys, though, trying to turn the screw early on.
I mean, Nexa likes to play aggressive, but against Binon Boys, you can see here that he's just clearing the ball, and you might be saying, well, what's he doing? He's not passing it. What he's trying to do here is he's trying to set his defensive shape up so that he's going to play on the counter. You'll see a lot of that today, where it's going to be very fast counter-attacks. If there's none, he's just going to reset his line and get the ball back. He's playing on the front foot here because he already won his first game. Binon Boys has to push a little bit harder in this one, Harry, because, this is... every match, it needs to be won from here on in from him.
It certainly does. It's all well and good sharing points in the first match, but you have to put your best foot forward at all times. That's a really nice cancel by Havertz. Rattles the frame of the goal this time, though.
First real chance, and in fairness, both men do everything right there. Brilliant super cancel, brilliant fake shot, I should say, and then the manual goalkeeper from Nexa probably saves him. That if he doesn't hit the post there, it's probably going to be saved by the keeper. Some nice high-level gameplay from both men here.
First real strike on the goal, 20 minutes in. It's quite been on, boys. He had that really good first half against Hassan earlier on as well. Gyökeres forces to save. Raya pours that one away for Nexa. And there is one of those lightning fast countering, direct counter attacks you see there from Nexa.
You can see the switch in play style that Nexa is bringing against Benon Boys, but Benon Boys has been completely dominant in the first 25 minutes, Harry. He's had chance after chance. He has to score one of these, I think. Nexa will kind of plug a few gaps at the back in the second half, you'd feel, if he doesn't concede.
Yeah, look out for Eze here, can play it across the face of goal. Osaka on the other side, dispossessed by Eze. I think that magnetic feet, showtime Eze, he's going to be a focal point of every single player we see here today. Such a good trait, such a good player item to have.
This is what Nexa wants. He wants to slow it down a little bit and just, you know, bring bodies forward when he gets the chance. You'll see him make changes regularly as well as you see him go into the game plan here. Well, he just faked us out there. Usually he makes changes every now and again. He drags players out of position. And as we saw, I mean, and anyone that knows Nexa, he's a very confident guy. You know, he doesn't doubt himself. You might say he's only had a limited time on the ball. He won't care about that. All he needs is one chance, and then he's got a goal. He's so clinical in front of the net.
He is indeed our eFootball Pro MVP of 2023. And is venturing into the final third here. Plays it into Havertz, who finishes nicely.
That's what we were saying. He's had one sniff.
Frenchman Nexa in front. This is the MVP. Represented United in 23. Now fighting to represent another English club, this time the Gunners.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's what Nexa does. I mean, he's made our point for us, really. It's kind of come from, you know, he pauses, he breaks it. It's nearly a set piece in terms of, like, he slowed the whole game down, he pauses it, and then it's just a little bit of a fortuitous break here for him. I do feel like he could have probably put a bit more power on that, but that's just the purist in me where I'm saying it doesn't matter how they go in. That's a dream start for him. He's had one chance, Harry. Very clinical.
Well, that is all it takes for a player of Nexa's caliber. The 22-year-old who took a year off from competing in 2024, came back for last year's competitions. Sadly, fell short at the Barcelona Club event finals, but looks to be in red-hot form this season. 3 points to his name already.
Oh, what a ball.
That's a really nice ball. Back close towards Eze. I just think Benon Boys' formation is really catching a lot of players off guard here so far.
Definitely.
Eze from, well, downtown.
Definitely. I feel like he almost is like super pressed up, isn't he? He's very aggressive, which maybe he's trying to switch it up a little bit. Because he does like to, he's holding a lot of possession as well, but yeah, it's a strange setup that he has here at the moment.
He's getting his fullbacks involved as well. You see Eze and Calafiori near side, Saka on the far side as well. They're all getting involved. Crossed in towards Havertz at the back post. That was a really big chance towards half time.
Was that a save or crossbar? I thought he got a hand to it. I'm not too sure though.
We'll see better here.
Ooh. I mean, that's 3 big chances that he's got. I know you can't really do much more. The ball just isn't flying in for him. That's probably the biggest chance there, I would say. I thought the keeper got a save, but he didn't. It's off the crossbar. So Benon Boys is knocking on the door, though.
Yeah, 4 shots in the first half so far by Rizky Fainan, but sadly he trails.
There will be 1 minute.
Just 1 minute added on. I'm not sure if there's even enough time for Raya to kick this past the halfway line. Get a last attack and a half. The referee might be generous here. He will be. Here's Ødegaard. Tackle. Strong challenge, and that's enough for the referee to blow his whistle. Half time.
Very tactical performance from Nexa. I mean, he's taken his chance when he's gotten it, but other than that, he hasn't done much in the game. Vindos Boys has played all the football here. He's had all the chances. Will he rue some of those misses, though? That's the thing. You know, he's had how many shots on target? I think 2 or 3. Keeper has been good as well for Nexa. His manual keeping has been good, which is another sign to see there. 4 shots there, I think it is, but only 1 on target each.
70% possession there,
yeah.
I mean, that
Crazy.
is a lot of the ball to have, but if you're not sticking it in the back of the net, does it really matter?
I mean, Nexa only has 18 passes there that have come off, which is crazy, but you're 1-0 ahead. He's so clinical up front. That's the danger. He knows. I know you people at home will be saying, why is he hoofing the ball forward there? It's to get the shape up, and then when the ball goes into a set piece, or it's, you know, a stoppage in play, a throw, a corner, set piece, whatever, that's when he kind of comes into his own, where he's got the bodies up and he can overload Vindos Boys. At the moment, Vindos Boys is playing actually the perfect game. He just is 1-0 down. I mean, make it make sense, Harry. I mean, he's just doing everything right, but he just keeps knocking at the door. Surely he'll get back into this, though, I think.
Yeah, I'm still really enjoying this.
Yeah, it's very tactical.
This game, but also this formation that we're seeing. I believe this has been on Boys' formation. I mean, when you consider Calafiori, Timber pushing up from the fullback position, it almost creates overloads on the back line. So anytime Risky Finance has the ball, it's so difficult for Hassan Pajani, Nexa, whoever he's playing against, to really kind of decide, who should I mark? Should I stay? Should I go? It's been tricky so far.
Yeah, both of these guys are going to be playing like a lot with the Arsenal squad. The Arsenal squad is super, you know, as you mentioned, the cards there. You've got Eze, you've got Saka, you've got really good firepower up front. But defensively, I think when you have that double pivot, Declan Rice, we haven't mentioned the DMF battle too much in this, which is huge. If you just notice in this game how much is going through the middle of the pitch centrally, Harry, it's crazy.
Is indeed something to keep an eye on. Vindos Boys, though, starting the second half in possession, but trailing. The Frenchman Nexa has put on a commanding performance so far, despite not having much of the ball. Here he is coming forward in the early stages. Nice little attempt there from Jesus to beat his man. Not often we see the roulette, but Nexa there trying to make something happen. Now Vindos Boys might try and put something together of his own. Here's Eze into the box, beats his man, looks for Gyökeres. That's straight at David Raya, though.
Yeah, it just kind of dropped. There was no pace in that at all. But again, end to end, we had that brilliant roulette up front that nearly got through. But again, you can see Declan Rice, you can see Zubimendi, you can see how many balls they're blocking, they're stopping, they're just getting into passing lanes. So that's why I think it's getting a little bit congested. And Vindos Boys is going out wide. But now it's opening up a little bit, Harry, as well. You can see that they're both are going for it here now.
As they inside to Ødegaard, that other DMF of Risky Finance formation, joining the attack now. As things get a bit desperate, Ødegaard was straightening in behind, and that will be a corner here early on in the second half.
This could be his chance. Making a couple of changes again. This could be Nexa. Swapping things around. They're both playing similar formations, but very different styles. Have you noticed that? I mean, people are quick. You know, the quick counter is obviously way more pressed up. You're going to be way more aggressive. You do leave gaps at the back, obviously, when you're playing quick counter. But you can combat that with a lot of manual defending. And you'll notice when he's on the defence with the quick counter, he's manually dragging his defensive line back and getting it as an acting kind of like a sweeper centre back. That's just something if people are noticing there to keep an eye on. But as you said, Harry, they're both getting width as well in the, you know, they're playing out wide as well manually, which is nice to see.
It's always one of the nice things when you see those fullbacks join the attack and create those exciting overloads. But is there a goal for Vindos Boys here? Seems to have been met with the brick wall of Nexa's defence every single time. Ødegaard wins that one cleanly, though. Now, a chance. If he can beat Rice to get it into Kai Havertz. He's going to be a focal point, I feel, throughout all of today, Kai Havertz. So strong and tall. Good finishing attributes to him as well. Played short, though. Fury in the right place, right time.
The attendance for this match was 60,179.
And again, Barry, as we trickle over that hour mark in game, it's one of those times where you start to think, the 70th minute approaching, do I start thinking about substitutes? Who have I got that's a super sub in this Arsenal squad?
And these guys will know exactly who to bring on. when to bring him on. They'll have a plan A, B, C, D, everything. But they are kind of, you know, Binan Boys is still in the game. It's hard to really change something when he's actually playing so well. He just needs that lucky break, I think. And Nex has been very solid as well.
He will have to remain solid as well for the rest of this game. Eze here for Binan Boys. Into the box, Gyökeres turns, strikes, goal. Just like that.
It's Gyökeres again that finishes it, but the work is done, the dribbling is done. You've highlighted the card. You know, that Eze card is absolutely frightening. You can't close him down with the dribbling skills he has. It's kind of a simple finish of all the chances he's had today. The goalkeeper doesn't get near that one.
I think the big thing for me here, Barry, is how decisive it was as soon as he got Gyökeres in this position. It's turn,
it's brilliant
shoot.
dribbling to set it up, isn't it? Super cancelling, shifted the defensive line around. It's just a simple finish with the left foot.
Just turn and touch into space with Victor Gyökeres. That's all you really look for.
Again, it's been a tale of both halves, hasn't it? Nexa has definitely, he has rode his luck a little bit, I will say. He hasn't really peppered the goal. Binan Boys has been peppering, you know, the goals. The goalkeeper has been very, very strong. Orea has been very, very strong for Nexa and the manual keeping. But changes now, Harry. What do you do here? You're after coming back into it. Maybe that plan goes out. I don't need to be as aggressive now. Does he kind of go for it, do you think? Would you kind of go for it now, being on top? Binan Boys is definitely on top at the moment.
Well, they're happy with the two when you consider, Barry, the group table, of course.
Yeah.
Nexa already has 3 points. I mean, will Binan Boys be happy with 2 draws on the bounce? I mean, no risky fight, and I think probably not. So I think he'll push forward here. I'll be surprised if Nexa continues to try and play the counter-attacking style, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it did work for him in the first half, but what we know of Lucas is that he will push forward. He knows that his goal ultimately is to be world champion.
Yeah.
Forget about Arsenal champion, forget about regional, this, that, the other. It's all about the world title for the 22-year-old Frenchman. So I think both of them will go for it here. Nexa knows if he gets 3 points in this match, he's guaranteed to play in the final later, which is a big thing.
It's a big incentive, yeah. And you can just notice here with the centre-backs, I mean, you've got the setup. You're essentially playing 4 centre-backs here and then Declan Rice back in, or your centre-back, or whoever you have, Zubimendi, Declan Rice. It is interesting to see how much Binan Boys is kind of controlling the tempo of the game, but not scoring to represent his domination. That's kind of something to keep an eye on in this tournament.
Number 13.
Indeed it is. Here comes Nexa though, fresh off the kick-off. Havertz looking to try and find Moreno. Oh, it's as simple as that.
Classic comeback.
Most susceptible following a kick-off, and it's Mikel Moreno.
That's an absolute gut punch, I think. And Nexa again, he's had 2 chances in this match that we've seen on stream. Again, it's set up by that DMF, it's set up by the double touch that's fake, that cancelled, and then the cutback. It's a classic staple of eFootball goals. When you're in this position, I mean, it's just an inch perfect pass.
Perfect.
And you can't, the keeper's taken completely out of it, he's attracted to the ball. And it just happened in a flash. I mean, we didn't even have a chance to talk about the build-up. It just happened in a flash, and that's what Nexa does, Harry.
That is what he does. He goes for the jugular. Just as we were saying, psychologically, to get 3 points in this match, there is no 2 other players mathematically that could catch you. But here comes Binan Boys, trying to put one into action himself, sadly caught offside.
Both of these guys are doing a lot of super cancels, a lot of fake shots, just to open up the defence a little bit, but the chances that they're getting are well earned. These defences are very, very strong with the Arsenal squad, the players that they have. I mean, they're just rock solid. Even though we are seeing goals, it's very, very, very hard to break down this Arsenal defence in eFootball, the way it's set up here.
Well, 20 minutes. No goals to show for it apart from the one he scored moments ago. So far it's looking like it's not enough. And Nexa again continues to pour forward here. Havertz turns inside, tries to find Mikel Moreno again, wins the ball back, had 3 other red shirts to try and find, but couldn't corral the ball.
There's Zubimendi again, absolute dominant.
Oh, through to Havertz as well. And this will be frustrating for Binong Boys to play against. Only Madueke just maintaining, shielding possession on that far side, and every time the ball goes out of play, it's just a little psychological reminder to Binong Boys, you're not winning this game.
Yeah, it is, and there's these little micromanagements to the game where he's going in, and you might be moving a player a slight bit out, you might be changing something, just something so small, but that's what got Nexa his second goal there, that positioning. I think Binong Boys, there's a I hope it's not a worrying trend for him if he's looking at it, because he has played very well today. It's hard to even criticise his play.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been able to score goals, and that can sometimes happen, Harry. I mean, what do you do in that situation? Do you keep knocking on the door hoping that eventually you do start scoring goals?
Yeah.
But he hasn't looked like he could have like 4 or 5 goals in this match.
Just needs one to fall his way, doesn't he? It's so difficult to try and analyse exactly where it is things have gone wrong. I mean, thinking back to the game against Hassan we saw moments ago, with the substitutes he did have some success with his triangles and his fullbacks joining the attack as well. Maybe there's another chance in this game here.
Maybe, I think there might be, yeah.
I think surely there will be. I mean, what, 12, 11 minutes plus stoppages?
But that player of the week, Ray inside in goals as well, is very difficult to beat. He's, especially if you manual goalkeeper, and Nexa's really good at manual goalkeeping. So that's something that psychologically, if you are true on goal, you have to still beat Nexa in goal. So something to keep an eye on as well.
So 10 minutes then separating Nexa as it stands, with the console grand final later. Binong Boys will not give this one up. Martinelli cross towards Trossard. Oh, it's just beyond him on that far side.
Yeah, it's a good run. I mean, it's from the overlap again, just kind of like going unnoticed under the enemy's radar, but just again, it's just that fraction off, isn't it? That's kind of summed up his day today so far from what we've seen, and especially this match against Nexa. He's just been a fraction off of what he's been trying to do.
Near side, of course, not far side, but either way. He has indeed been just outdone so far today by Nexa, who has been perfect. Noni Madueke finishes off a very slick move, and Nexa is surely now on his way to another 3 points here in the group stages.
Yeah, that's a huge goal. It's a simple enough goal from what we've seen so far today. It's just a 1-2 touching goal. Gets the return back again. Simple finish, Harry, really. Kind of nearly walks it in, but yeah, Nexa's been very impressive today in terms of how clinical he's been, how aggressive he's been up front when he's actually wanted to score. That's kind of what stood out to me today.
Well, that is a very, very slick move. Finished very tidily indeed. Noni Madueke scoring to put Nexa with 1 foot now in the grand final later on. Binong Boys won't give this one up. Jesus with the strike, but he's been feeding off scraps mostly in this game.
Yeah. He's doing a lot right. I think Nexa is probably, he's defending better than it looks like, if that makes sense, in that like Binong Boys is getting a lot of possession, a lot of space is opening up, but he's not able to get that clear-cut chance like Nexa has got today.
Corner hit towards Zubimendi. Rice is arriving. But the 2023 eFootball Pro MVP is looking to regain some of his old form. Looked fantastic here. Again, it's been mostly Binong Boys in possession, mostly him trying to dictate things, but Nexa's so clinical.
6 added minutes has been indicated.
Here is Trossard, chance for a late consolation maybe. Might play into factor in terms of tiebreakers, goal difference, but one thing's for sure, Nexa with 6 points out of 6 now will be, trying to do the maths in my head, I'm pretty sure there isn't a set of 2 players that could catch him, featuring in the grand final later on. And it's been a bit of a torrid time, really, in this game against Nexa for Bin On Boys, hasn't it, Barry?
It's been a difficult one for him.
We've all been there, where you create chances. Here's Trossard. Oh, it will be a late consolation.
He had a chance like that earlier.
Indeed.
Very, very same as that, except this time he wasn't, offside, or he didn't miss it. So 3-2 puts a little bit of gloss on the scoreboard, but it hasn't really felt like a 3-2, has it? It's kind of been a strange game where Nexa has just got his chances and taken them. But that's a lovely finish. That's a brilliant finish there. Brilliant goal, really.
Yeah, you're right. This is the exact run he was looking for earlier. I believe it was a slightly over-hit pass on the near side. Sadly, I think with the time left on the clock, even if Nexa were to give possession away, I don't think there is enough time for Bin On Boys.
I'd say he's going to blow it up at the kick-off. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a tough one. And Nexa's in prime position now to go all the way today.
I fear it may be nothing more than a consolation. And rightly so. I think Nexa will take all the time he needs to keep this one off, just to make sure. And there it is. The final score, 3-2. Nexa has been perfect so far. A very, very good performance from him, weathering every storm defensively and in the attacking sense. Very clinical. 3 shots, 3 goals. Nexa with 3 points.
Yeah, look at the passes there. I mean, 43 passes successfully. That's crazy compared to the stats from Bin On Boys. It is a bit crazy, all right.
Goodness.
But yeah, I mean, listen, goals win games. Possession doesn't. And I feel like that game there, Nexa has literally put himself into the best possible position. And it comes from 3 very simplistic goals. Simplistic, not to, talk down on them or whatever, but they're just very simplistic e-football goals that work. And Nexa's a master of the basics in the game. That's one thing I would say. He's a master of the basics.
Yeah, we saw it plenty of times in the eFootball Pro when it was 3v3, when it went during the pandemic as well to 1 versus 1. It was something that he really kind of prided himself on. Just doing the basics right, getting those finishes off, getting the chances that he needs. I'm still trying to get over those statistics. I mean,
it's crazy, isn't it?
That's a ridiculous amount of successful passes when you consider he won 3-2 against one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, and I think there might have been a little bit of a bedding in period or a learning period for Nexa in the first half. I think he could see the gaps he was leaving at the back, and I know that goal at the end, where it was the second goal that Bin On Boys scored, I don't think Nexa would be too concerned about that, because I think he already saw the gap that Trossard was running into before he scored that goal. He had that chance before that, as you said, Harry. But yeah, just doing the basics right. I mean, the super cancels, your fake shots, the cutbacks, and just scoring when you get a look at the goal. That's what Nexa has done. I mean, if anyone's looking to improve their gameplay, start with the basics before you start to develop these intricate patterns of play into your own play. I was impressed with him there, Harry. I know you mentioned that Nexa before, and when we were talking before the game, you did mention that Nexa, this could be a tournament that really suits him. You still feel confident, I think, in saying that now, because he looked very impressive there.
Yeah, indeed. It just seems that Arsenal tends to fit his play style, and I think you're right, just taking the chances when they come, that's so important at this level. This was probably the most Arsenal-esque goal I think we could have asked for so far out of Nexa. Sure, he had, under 50 successful passes, around that kind of margin, but he put together, a good chunk of them in this build-up here. Just the triangles, 1-2s, gives and goes. Beautiful stuff. And a finish to boot as well. There was a late consolation for Bin On Boys, and I do wonder for Bin On Boys, obviously we'll wait and see what the group table looks like. How do you psychologically bounce back from this? Because we've all been there, right? When you feel like you've been dominating an opponent, but every chance is going their way and they're just too clinical. It's psychologically, excuse me, as I put my teeth back in. It's so tough to bounce back from a game like this, let alone online, but also in a tournament of this magnitude.
It is, and it's really hard, I think, because if you look at the the information here or the stats, like look at the possession stat there, and as you said, it's nearly worse when Bin On Boys is doing everything. It's very hard to criticize him, and you're saying, well, surely Barry and Harry, you can criticize him here. He's 3-2, lost in this one. He drew the first one. It's not. Look at the stats. I mean, the stats are telling the tale here. He's been very dominant in games. He's created some brilliant passages of play. It just hasn't actually. Everything hasn't just come together at once. I think, Harry, is the best way of saying it, isn't it? But yeah, that's a brilliant result for Nexa, though. I feel like Bin On Boys will be disappointed with that, but Nexa will be absolutely buzzing with that one. He looks frightening. He looks in good shape, and especially if he's got that little possession, that few passes, 3 shots, 3 goals. What more could you want?
Good shape so far by the Frenchman Nexa. 3 goals and 3 points. Giselle Nexa looks in really good form. There's been a couple of famous Frenchmen for Arsenal, haven't there? I fear that Nexa is following the path of a certain someone.
Yeah, we won't say the name, but I'm sure everyone knows exactly who we're talking about. But that was a great game. Nexa, that trash talk in the beginning, to just go through and do what he done. That was a really fantastic watch. But as we look through our other standings, we have Bin On Boys, as we can see, versus Hassan Pajani. The earlier game that we saw was 1-1. And Nexa versus Serginho, 2-1. Nexa versus Bin On Boys, 3-2, which we just saw. Hassan Pajani versus Serginho, 1-1.
Okay.
That changes things a little bit now, doesn't it?
That does. So obviously we'll get a better illustration of it when we see the group table. But for Bin On Boys, still alive, I think.
Yes.
I think I think he's still alive. I'm hearing that in my head that apparently we can't see the standings just yet. But I think that Bin On Boys should still be mathematically in contention.
He is. Just about.
Yep.
Yeah. Just about. I do think that that is definitely the lifeline that he needed, because now obviously he still has to play Serginho. So I do feel like Serginho will still, he hasn't gone away either. He's still in with a chance of winning and getting through. Nexa, obviously winning that game puts him in pole position. But I do think that Bin On Boys has one performance in him where he'll actually put everything together and he could turn on, put on a show. Hassan Pajani a little bit disappointed with 2 draws in his first 2 games.
He is within the realms of kind of keeping things within his own control, but the sad thing is he has to play Hassan has to play Nexa in his last game.
Yeah, that's
so
a tough one.
Would you rather be Hassan Pajani with a point advantage over Bin On Boys in the group, but have to play Nexa? Or
there's no easy out there. And
It's tricky.
Nexa is not going to take the foot off the gas. He's going to want to beat everybody. These guys don't do, I'll take this one handy, or I'll take this one easier because mathematically I'm in a really strong position. He'll want to psychologically as well say, listen, if I play you here, I'm going to beat you this time, I'm going to beat you the next time. And he'll be able to just play in a position of strength. But we did say that it would go down to the last couple of games. We probably mightn't have been able to predict it like this, with Hassan Pajani drawing his 2 games and Nexa winning his 2. But that's the drama that we love to see. These are the results we love to see. Don't make it simple for us. We want drama.
Give us the drama. Give us something to sink our teeth into.
I love that.
So we know that Bin On Boys is going up against Serginho. We haven't seen Serginho on the big stage just as yet, but from what you guys know of Serginho, what are you expecting from this next game?
I'm looking forward to seeing Serginho because he too is still within the race, still mathematically in with a chance of joining Nexa in that final. Now, obviously, ran him very close early on in his first game, but was also a world finalist in 2024. So Serginho knows how to get to the promised land that everyone here is kind of fighting towards. Serginho is no slouch at all, the 24-year-old Colombian. I think that he could make life very difficult here for Bin On Boys.
Yeah, I agree, and I was just taking a look there at how he qualified for this. Some of the names, some of the guys he beat to get to this stage, and that region in particular, that Americas region, is always stacked. It's stacked with talent, as Harry will tell you as well, down throughout the years. I feel like sometimes you're better off going under the radar down to the last game and have it all to play for. I guarantee you he will definitely still trust that he can get the job done here.
Yeah.
You know, because
Bit of
that's
explosion at the end.
once you're in with a chance, you still have a chance.
Yes.
That's what I always say. If you have a chance, it's down to you. I'll take those odds because these guys are so talented.
Definitely. Well, let's not think anymore because the game, we are ready to watch it right now. So let's not wait any longer to witness this game of the match. Finals between the Indonesian and the Colombian player, Binong Boys versus Serginho. Let's go.
Hola, mi nombre es Sergio Cabrera, más conocido como Serginho. Vivo en Colombia, Pasto Nariño, y tengo unas altas expectativas para estas finales. Representar al Arsenal es una oportunidad muy grande, ya que ha sido uno de los equipos más importantes del mundo y en estos últimos tiempos. El rival más difícil en esta ocasión creo que son todos, ya que todos fueron campeones de sus respectivas regiones y van a ser partidos muy parejos, muy disputados, en los que cualquier error puede pasar factura. Y en caso de llegar a la final sería el objetivo de todos, que bien lo dicen que es el sueño, que es la gloria, ir por el campeonato mundial.
Well, how wonderful to hear from Serginho. A 24-year-old from Colombia came into this as a bit of a wild card, didn't he? Obviously, we have some data on him from the 2024 World Finals, but I think you hit the nail on the head there, Barry, pre-game. The strong players that come out of that Americas region, I mean, Gifera, multiple-time world champion. You look at Jay Victor, Henriquinho, who, by the way, notably, Serginho beat on the way here. So had to take down some of the very best of his region in order to make it here. So our first chance to look at Serginho here today at the Arsenal FC Finals, with all to play for here in the group stages.
It's perfectly tied up as well and set up. And Serginho is looking to put Binong Boys on the back foot straight away. Look how aggressive he's been. There's no patience here, it's just aggression. And the Americas regional winner, like if you are, I think that, as you said, it's a hotbed of talent, isn't it? But they do kind of play the game in a certain way, that they do like to play fast, they do like to throw in a couple of tricks and a bit of flair. Serginho looks to be, you know, setting that standard here again today.
Yes, indeed. There is one of those tricky moves, a back heel to try and make things happen. It is Serginho in the all-changed Arsenal strip. Binong Boys back in the home strip now with Eberechi Eze. Just trying to use those magnetic feet to the best of his ability. Trying to shake off the man. Here's Saka on the arrival. Binong Boys always trying to force it, will it into the back of the net there.
First chance from Binong Boys again, going to Eze again, and he's just trying to use him a little bit better today with the dribbling, that magnetic feet dribbling. The ball stuck to his full feet. Both chances for both guys here, similarly, I think will have just half chances. There's not really much to get too excited about just yet.
Here's Binong Boys, he's bullied off the ball by Declan Rice. And it's so interesting the way that this group stands as things stand. Nexa obviously on 6 points, he's into the grand final, no problem. I'll come back to that as Serginho tries to make something happen, and Binong Boys is making a bit of a hash of it here at the back. It's finally a goal kick for him. But
yeah, Serginho is pushing and getting in Binong Boys' face. He's getting in the player's face. Maybe there'll be a switch coming here, because if I am Binong Boys, I'm not really liking how aggressive Serginho is straight early doors.
Yeah,
he's on top of him straight away, and so far for what we've seen of Binong Boys, he's been like that in the previous 2 games he's played. So it's just kind of switching it up a little bit and throwing something different at him.
The Nexa into the grand final, giving chase. Hassan Pajani, 2 points to his name. Binong Boys with 1 point, and then Serginho yet to score a point. So a win must needed here for Serginho. You can tell by his intent here on the eFootball pitch that he is going to try his very best. Saka somehow has come out of that situation with the ball. Havertz, though, cannot fashion a chance. Boys looking for another one of his 1-2s. Havertz almost coming around the corner to nick that one away. Odegaard is just straight offside. But I love these club event finals when we get down to the last heat, the last match day, if you will, of the group stages, and we still have 3 players fighting for one place. It's a game of musical chairs, but especially I feel quite fortunate, Barry, that we get to watch 2 out of those 3 go head to head, knowing what each of them need.
Yeah, definitely, especially having seen them all on the big stage as well, and how they'll adapt to having played each other once, you know, how they'll adapt in the final.
25 minutes gone. Difficult to call which way this one would go based on how things have panned out here in the first half. Sininho, though, looking very sharp. There's plenty of space here for Odegaard to try and ply his trade. Havertz, some neat footwork. Saka's gone for goal as he almost flashes inside David Raya's post.
That's what he's looked for twice now, and it comes off there. I like how Sininho is set up here. There's a lot of positive signs. He's controlling the play. Vindos has slightly altered his plan. He's trying to get Havertz a little bit more into the game, a couple of knock-ons, a couple of touch and goes, and just a little bit more through the centre rather than out wide. But now, as I say that, he is gone out wide for that ball back in, but nothing comes of it. He's just gone a little bit more centre, Harry. Maybe he's just trying to adapt to what's not working from earlier on in the last 2 games.
I was so curious to see that, because it did seem that when you go back, you watch that first half against Hassan Pajani, how much success he was having with the triangles between his wingers, his inside men.
It just looks now, maybe he's just, it just looks to me that he's gone, you know, a couple of those over the top through balls. Maybe he's just trying to alter it a little bit, you know, and try something slightly different, but he's...
Oh, here's Eze into the box with some fancy footwork.
There's another one there.
Half time.
Launching it.
Saka on the far side now. Here for Sininho. Stunning cross towards Eze at the back post.
That's better now from Bruno, boys.
Feel that Sininho's press is coming at awkward timings and Canal boys is having to adapt. Eze having to go backwards here. Oh, Saka through here for Sininho with the left foot. And the Colombian, just before half-time, is now into the lead.
Showtime Saka,
huge,
to the rescue again, I think, here for Sininho, and gets him a really good goal, I think, just before the half. It's been that type of game, though, where Bruno boys is rotating possession. He's trying to be too maybe cute with the ball, gets turned over. Once you give a guy of this potential and this talent pool, like any of these guys today, they're going to score from there, Harry. It's a brilliant finish, though.
It is indeed, and it comes from that high press again, just winning the ball back. Saka, that Showtime card, making the run. Raya just caught in no man's land. I think there was a bit of manual keeping there just to shift him.
Yeah, just went the other way against him.
Preempt and guess the way the finish was coming. But Sininho at his first club finals could be doing just enough here against Binnon boys, who's had a torrid time of things. Definitely not playing up to his potential at all. That's a very strong challenge. And he might have some defending to do here at the end of the first half, Binnon boys. Saka skips inside. Declan Rice almost turned, but in the end of the first half, it is Sininho who is fighting to make that grand final later on.
Yeah. It's in his hands now.
It's in his hands.
Yeah. And just a quick reminder. Interesting half though, because I do think Bruno boys, he still has the possession stat fairly high, but he definitely has changed his play, in my opinion. I think Sininho would be very happy with that performance there in the first half, and he's very aggressive. You'll see that he's tackling, he's slide tackling, he's very aggressive, trying to win the ball back and playing on the forefront, or the front foot, I should say. again, a very similar setup you can see here with Serginho. Like, a very similar setup in terms of the back line, those two holding, and then Odegaard and the three boys up front. But I do think that Binon boys, as you said, Harry, like, he's played very well today. He just hasn't been able to get the chances in front of goal that you would normally think he'd get, like those clear-cut chances.
Well, he's going to need some clear-cut chances here because, well, here from the kickoff, Serginho is giving him all kinds of things to think about. But Binon boys, as things stand, facing down the barrel of an early exit. That's a very nice turn, almost by Havertz feeding Odegaard, but Serginho looks to be, well, we called him a wild card at the top of the show. He looks to be the real deal. Here with Eze. Kai Havertz into the box now. Just Declan Rice on the far side. How did he get there? Looking for Saka. Finally, Binon boys is able to just relieve some of that pressure.
Oh, he's sliding in. Crazy, man.
There's been a couple of successful slide tackles by.
He's really good at it.
By Serginho, and that's the first big strike of the game by Binon boys.
Yeah, that was the second slide tackle out there was crazy because he just literally left the gap, and that's what created the chance there. There was no defensive backline set. Good save though, very good save.
He needs to be careful with too many of those slide tackles.
They're tempted though. They are tempted. I do like a good slide tackle.
Very telegraphed, the second one. And now Binon boys from the corner, straight through. So the great forehand of David Raya. Of course, regardless of what happens in this match, all eyes will be turned to Nexa versus Hassan Pajani. Hassan Pajani with 2 points entering this round of fixtures, so if he's able to get a draw against Nexa, I mean, then we have to call the referees in, do the tiebreaker stuff, which obviously I'm famously horrendous at, so I'll leave that one up to the box.
Calculators will be out.
It's like trying to do long algebra for me. I cannot work the tiebreakers at all. Saka here for Serginho. He wants to not leave things down to tiebreakers if at all possible.
The attendance for this match was 60,170.
That's been working so far today for Rizky Finan. For all his possession, all his passing, has found himself on the trailing side of things in the majority of our matches. It's just a little sluggish on the ball, and there's a 3-on-3 at the back here. Serginho sensed that, tries to play a bit direct and a bit perhaps too fast.
Yeah, he just should have needed to slow it down there.
Now Binon boys with Bukayo Saka into the box. Saliba again going for a sliding challenge. You cannot give away too many of them in the box.
We did mention it with the sliding tackle. He's very aggressive with those sliding tackles. But that was, he just got a tiny bit of the ball, I think, there, or otherwise it would have been a penalty.
Oh,
he's flying to tackles now.
It's fiery here in our match number 5.
He's flying into him now.
Both players giving as good as they're getting. And with 20 minutes to go, who will leave with the cooler head and who will leave with the majority of the points? Another giveaway by Binon boys. Now Serginho almost connecting with Havertz. Saka's giving chase. Saka through, essentially 1-on-1. It's David Raya with the save.
Oh man, that is a huge chance. I cannot believe it. It's a brilliant save. Firstly, it's a brilliant save, but what a passage of play. I mean, both guys just getting the ball caught between their feet, and that really should have been a goal there at this level. I mean, that really should have been a goal. There's the yellow card. I think we could have about 5 or 6 yellow cards in that passage of play there. I thought it was Valentine's Day. There's no love being shown here at all. That's the way we like it, though.
Does the referee have a large enough notebook to write down all the names?
I think he only brought one card, so he's too lazy to give them out. But no, that's what we want to see. Different styles, and I think that there's definitely a method to that slide tackle madness with Serginho, because he's trying to slow the play down. He's probably trying to frustrate, Binon boys as well. And at this level, when you are getting stopped with slide tackles, you do start getting into your head that you need to get the ball, rid of quick. Couple of changes here as well, but so far Serginho has really tactically played this game well. I think he's actually had some nice passages of possession, Harry.
He's been very quick and very snappy when he has won the ball back quite high up the pitch. My worry is how telegraphed he's been with the likes of Saliba going with those slide changes. It's almost every single time he's manually controlling.
Yeah, it's high risk, it's very high risk.
There's going to be a slide tackle coming, and I think Binon boys started to clock onto that.
Yeah.
And then a big chance followed after that. So you need to be really careful not being too one note, similarly in attack, but also defensively as well. It's you can't show too many patterns of play at this level.
No, especially when it's high risk like that, because he already gave a chance away in this game, so he's still continuing to slide tackle. So it just must be a kind of, style of his play.
Serginho corner.
Number 8.
A waste in the end, or is it? Because they're just exchanging possession here. Trossard is the target. It's been
Gabriel Jesus.
swapped left and right possession.
Number 36.
Has been the man of the match so far.
Yeah, he's been unreal.
Number 19.
At least for Serginho.
Number 11. Gabriel Martinelli. Substitution in progress.
So we're approaching the final 10 in-game minutes here. Serginho 1, Binon boys 0. And Serginho is by no means in the clear. He has to maintain this win and also wonder what happened in the other match in order to feature in our final later on. But even a goal by Binon boys would see him effectively eliminated at this point. So need to be very careful, especially in situations like this. That is somehow adjudged, to be fair, by the referee. The fans aren't happy with that. But it's getting very fiery and very spicy. Here's Calafiori near side. Stunning cross almost makes its way to Marino. '90th minute just ticked over. Boys giving
1 minute at a time.
all the way left and right, and this one is going to dribble agonisingly into his own half. It needs to go forward here. Is there even enough time, I wonder? Has to go forward here. Jesus does win the header. Trossard onto Marino. Jesus can't get it out of his feet, and that is a famous victory for Serginho, the Colombian, coming through with 3 points against one of the best players in the world, Binon boys. Sadly for Rizky Fidan, with that result, he is now eliminated from the Arsenal finals. But we wait with bated breath, Barry, to see if Serginho has done enough. 1-0 the final score in an entertaining match with probably more slide tackles than chances, I'd say.
That's what it was. I mean, he woke up angry this morning. He's just saying, listen, I'm going to slide tackle all day, every day. But yeah, I think let's not let that overshadow his result here. I mean, slide tackling is part of it, that he likes to be aggressive, and when you do win a slide tackle, it's not just for last ditch, it's also for taking a player out of that possession and being able to kind of get a chance going forward. But very, very nice performance. Binon boys, will be disappointed not scoring in this game, but he had chances again. I think he'll have a lot of clips to look back on here. Maybe he won't like watching them back, but he definitely has a lot of clips to look back on and say, why did I do this? Why didn't I press this more? Why did I make this chance? Why didn't I get the ball rid of there? That chance there as well, Harry. It's just unlike him, isn't it? It's kind of unlike him.
Yeah, it really is. Obviously, Binon boys so famous for his co-op gameplay, both in 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3. Knows that, you cannot give those types of chances away. Of course, recently made it to the Old Trafford Cup final as well, did Binon boys, but sadly lost there against Audi. So yeah, it's not been his favourite month ever, has as February so far for Binong boys, but the important thing for Serginho is he survived the onslaught that came afterwards, and Risky Finan back to the drawing board. I think you're right. I think when he watches these back, he will know that, you got unlucky with some chances. Serginho did well with some defensive work, but realistically, it's the mistakes giving away in important areas. Dwelling on the ball, you can't do that at this level.
Yeah, you can. And when you get a chance, even that chance there, that might look like a really good save, but he could have taken that in a little bit more and just done a little bit more with it, or worked it a little bit more. Because his actual passing and his triangles and stuff was very nice today. There was one of those slide tackles that we saw. That was definitely a feature of this. But again, getting caught in possession there, that really should have been game over. And it's just, as we were saying, it's kind of unlike Binong boys to be caught in possession like that. Maybe pressure, maybe a bit of nerves, maybe the result's not going his way so far today. Made him second guess. I definitely think he changed his play style a little bit here. But yeah, that's after shaking things up. We'll have to see the group table, of course, but that's after shaking things up hugely.
Yeah, that has well and truly put the cat amongst the pigeons. Not for the first time today. More possession, more passes, more successful passes, but no points for Binong boys here, Giselle. Serginho coming out with a big 3 points, which is exactly what he needed to do. Is it going to be enough, though?
Exactly. Oh, the amount of slide tackles in there. I was guaranteed there was going to be a yellow card. I don't know about you, even a red card. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, we were expecting a few in that game.
Definitely, but I think the ref was probably feeling the Valentine's Day love, so he said, I'll let it go. But let's have a look at some of those other results in the other matches so we can start to see how this is going to shape up towards the finals.
Wow.
Look at that, guys.
Ooh.
Thoughts on that?
My God. Match 6 is where you should be pointing your eyes to. Nexa already in the final. Hassan Pajani needed to... Well, he needed points, didn't he? He needed at least a draw, and he got it done. 2-1 over the player Nexa, who has looked just infallible today. Well done, Hassan.
And let's have a look at how those standings are looking like now, guys.
Yeah, let's do it. And the reason we are kind of not so much shaking our head, but also just looking at this this group table is because Hassan Pajani has done enough to leapfrog Serginho into second place, and as a result will rematch against Nexa later on in the console grand final. I mean, we always knew there would be shots left and right in this group, but in the end, it's only two that prevail, Barry, and it's two of our strongest.
I think so, yeah. I think based on what we've seen so far, I think those were the two players today. I think, Hassan Pajani, that point in the first game proved very valuable there, I think, and getting back into that game. That's going to be a serious rematch, a serious final. I mean, Nexa was probably, you could argue, I know we said it earlier, they don't take the foot off the gas, but Nexa's probably saying, listen, I have a free hit now to see what Hassan Pajani is going to throw at me. Right, I lost 2-1, but I'm already qualified as top spot. That's fine. I didn't need 9 points. I don't need to win every game. Now we can adapt and make it a little bit more tactical, but I mean, that's set up quite beautifully now, I will say.
Oh yeah, especially when you consider Nexa was the leader going into the final heat of games. For him to lose against a player that matches up against him again in the console grand final, Giselle.
Yep.
Oh, that's going to be drama. I can't wait. Spicy.
Do you guys have any cheeky predictions?
Oh,
go on, throw them at me.
It's supposed to be impartial, but I reckon, I'll give you a prediction. I reckon we'll see a penalty shootout between those two. I think they're that closely
matched. That's a good prediction.
I would have said there's a chance we see that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so too. I think penalties. Yeah.
He's just copying me.
I am. That's what I do with everything. Just copy everything. No, I do think penalties.
Yeah.
Unless Nexa can, Hassan Pajani, if he has grown into this tournament, I think Nexa has definitely been more clinical in front of goal.
Yeah.
He'll fancy penalties, I think, though, more than Hassan, I would say. So I think that he'll probably try and be patient. So we'll see. Yeah, but it's going to be set up nicely.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what kind of game do you think we're going to look at seeing here in that final?
It's so difficult to see. I mean, obviously, we can only kind of interpret the score that we saw because we didn't get to see them play against each other. But when you see a 2-1 score, I would like to know when the final goal was scored. If it's, in the last 10 minutes, then you probably think on the balance of play that they were pretty even.
Yeah.
But if, say, it was 2-0 at half-time and then there was a consolation goal at the end, then you're probably favouring the player who was up at half-time, obviously. But It's
Yeah, I
difficult.
think
It's
Nexa
difficult.
has to
I think
be
it'll
favoured based on what we've seen, and regardless of any of their histories. Like, Nexa has probably been the best player today.
Yep.
But then there's been signs of, you know, Hassan Pajani that has probably been at a higher level in terms of his gameplay. But Nexa is still on top of the leaderboard, so that tells you all you need to know about how good he is. Where you're saying, like, okay, he's not even playing to his best, and he's still at the top of the group stage, so, or top of the leaderboard. So yeah, and I know Harry really rates, you know, Nexa as well in terms of his ability to just grind out results. But Hassan Pajani will have something to say about it now as well, I think.
Yeah, I think that Nexa, there is a chance he used that as a throwaway game, almost downloading the data of Hassan Pajani, knowing Hassan had to put his best foot forward against him. So yeah, there's a chance we see a different result in a grand final, but I'm hoping for pens. I want to see extra time.
Yeah, why not? Imagine that, a penalty shootout for the finals. Like, let's have it.
Yes.
But amazing, we're going to see that soon. But now we are into our mobile group stages. And I'm really excited about this one, guys. I know you said there was a lot of rising talent here, so I'm really hoping for great matchups. But let's not wait any longer. Let's go straight into our first mobile group stage game. And we have our Japanese player and the youngest amongst all the players in the Arsenal FC Club final. We have Neopon Sui versus Jamon.
ファイナルズに進出。アーセナルは自分が好きなチームなので、そのチームの名を背負えることはとても光栄です。対戦する相手はみんな勝ち進んできた相手なので、どんな相手にも全集中で戦っていきたいと思います。今日の大会のためにあらゆる時間をこのゲームに尽くしてきたので、優勝する自信はあります。ワールドファイナルに進出した際にはもちろん世界チャンピオンを狙っていきたいと思います。みんな応援よろしく。
Hello everyone, my name is Jawan Punjahat. I'm 15 years old. I'm from Thailand and I'm representing Asia region. I feel extremely honored to have the opportunity to lead the cup final once again. The toughest matchup for me will be against Neopon from Japan because he plays very fast, rely heavily on skill. It's still wide open right now because everyone had a very similar skill level. What made me confident that I can reach the final is that I have prepared and trained very hard, and I already have experience playing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's match.
Amazing to hear from both Neopon and Jamon. About to face off here, Barry, in the first of our mobile matches. It's going to be a bit of a late night for these two, I feel. Obviously, 8 hours ahead of us here in the studio, Neopon, so we're looking at past 10 o'clock at this point in time. Jamon in Thailand, 6 hours, so it's closer to late evening for him. But yeah, both of these two are very, very strong, and there is no doubt a sense of revenge potentially on the cards here for Jamon, because in the previous round, Neopon took down Jamon's brother, John Kata. If that's not a chance to avenge your brother, then
we love
I don't
those
know what it
storylines.
is. So very interesting. Yeah, he bested him in the previous round in Neopon. So the man from Japan, now Yuki-san, 21 years old here in the home Arsenal strip. Blue cursor as we kick off our Arsenal mobile group stages.
And interesting as well in the interviews there, like, these guys, Jamor makes a very good point. All of these guys are at such a similar skill level. There's so little to go between them. It's all going to be who actually does it on the day. That's really what it is, and who uses the players to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, indeed. We got to see him a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, in the studio in Barcelona, competing for the Barcelona title.
I think he was a bit disappointed with that one.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Sadly knocked out in the group stages, and it's crazy to think that with all the experience we've seen on console and across mobile, Jamon is one of only 2 players across both platforms that's featured in a club finals before. Nexa's featured in 2, including this one. This is Jamon's 3rd at the age of just 15, which is really, really interesting. Such a young age, such a bright talent coming from a family of eFootball players.
Yeah, and he's definitely one to watch for the future. He's going to be taking part in a lot of these competitions, I think, throughout the next few years. But Neopon as well, I mean, it's such a it's such a big region as well, Japan. I mean, you know, for the talent that they produce on both mobile now and on console, I do feel like that he will have really highlighted this tournament to shine.
Yeah, a bit of a wayward pass there from Jamon, but you're right, the provision in both of these nations, when you think about the EJ League, of course, Nippon took part in that, representing, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the Saitama-based Urawa Red Diamonds. Made it to the last 8 of the EJ League last year, so knows what it takes to represent a club in a high prestige competition. His first venture forward here, sadly gathered up by David Wright. Now for Jamon, tries to feed Eze running in behind. If it's your first time watching eFootball Mobile, you'll notice compared to console, the games go by so much quicker. Here is Eze, dispossessed by Rice. Good defending that time by the man from Thailand, Jamon. Very quick game. Very quick games. The halves tick down very fast. So any chance you get, you simply must take them here on this platform.
Just all kind of nullifying each other at the moment. You know, that passages of possession there just seems to be, once it goes in far enough up the pitch.
Oh, great ball. Really good ball. There's a man over here in the middle. It's Gabriel Jesus! And that is one of those chances that you have to take. It's right on the stroke of half-time. The referee had the whistle between his lips, but played the advantage. And that will be Nippon 1, Jamon 0 at half-time.
Yeah, it's a very smart goal. Like, chances have been few and far between. We were just mentioning it there, and that is probably the first big chance. A bit of an overload on the left, squares it across. And it's a nice sharp finish as well. Take nothing away from that. It's a beautiful finish. This ties it up again. Eze getting the ball in, the assist, the left foot. Yeah, it's a lovely finish.
Beautiful finish. And just as this kicks off, I think the referee will whistle again for half-time, right at the break. Nippon with his first chance of the game.
You can see there, like we're just saying, look how close it is. They have nullified each other until that moment there. I think Jamon will be okay with that first half, even though he did concede. I think that he'll be fine with that if he can get back into it, but very even. I mean, both of these guys extremely even in that. And that chance that you can see how aggressive the formation is, that's probably where the goal came from there with that run. And maybe Jamon just switched off. He thought, right, it's half time, let me reset. Boom, you can't give these players, you can't switch off against Nippon. You just can't. So, yeah, it kind of shakes it up for the second half a bit, but I think Jamon will still be okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking across Jamon's previous club events, finals. I mentioned earlier, well, a couple of weeks ago, was in Barcelona, was out in the group stages there. Was the Western Asia winner, both there and at the Manchester United finals of last year. Came all the way out to Old Trafford at the age of 14. I'll come back to that as there's a chance here for Jesus. Oh, he's equalised.
He's back in it.
Jesus scoring one end, Jesus scoring at the other. Jamon back on level terms.
Yeah, I mean, Jamon, he's made our job easy there in terms of the analysis, because I think he actually played quite well in the first half, and just that sucker punch at the end. But that's the dream start right just after half-time. One scoring before half-time, the other scoring after half-time, both with Jesus. It's a nice sharp finish again. There isn't much really to do about it. He just gives a nice controlled shot in, and the keeper's not saving that. But this one is perfectly set up now.
Indeed it is. That touch into space by Jesus left the defender for dead. And it's our 15-year-old Thai representative equalising. Goals bookending off. Oh, that's a nice back heel to Gabriel Jesus!
What a goal.
The vision, the execution. Nippon back in front. Jesus is on a hat-trick now.
That's amazing. What a goal. The back heel makes it. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Real Arsenal-esque, back heel, beautiful, fluid football. That's what we want to see. Yeah, it's very, very nice finish.
I do wonder maybe Was it Eze that was waiting to get on the end of that back heel?
I think so. If he was, yeah, there was two players there, wasn't there? You're right.
Up for it. So
yeah,
clearly no mistake with that back heel. Entirely intentional by Neopon. He's back in the lead, but for how long? Oh, this game seems to have opened up massively here in the second half. Zubimendi stayed up. Neopon clears. Oh, that's a really nice build-up. Neopon here through with Jesus. Oh, and Eze's there as well. And that will be 3-1 for Neopon.
It's been them two boys up front. You see the player of the week, Eze card there as well, still able to produce the goods. It's the running off the ball though, Harry, if you notice here in the replay, if we see it. It's just electric, and Neopon is picking every pass perfectly. When to pass, who to pass with, how to pass. I know that looks simple there, but still at this stage, I mean, he's walked the ball in, but it's the pass before that. It's just brilliant. Yeah, what a goal.
It's a big goal scored to put himself 2 goals clear here in the second half. Neopon 3, Jamorn 1, and the 15-year-old is on the ropes again. Of course, we've seen before him lose his first match at the club finals. I think he did so at Old Trafford last year and still made it to the final, so by no means out of the competition at this stage, Jamorn, if it stays like this, of course. But we'll have to dig deep.
Yeah, I think he's just probably leaving a gap in that central midfield and central back, or that central defence is just a little bit open and exposed. Maybe you'll have to have a look at that for the second game that he's going to play, because Neopon, in fairness, has just everything that could be done right today, he's done it. He's just played the perfect game so far. Simple, but very effective.
Less than 20 minutes remain, and it's Neopon 3, Jamorn 1, here in our Asian derby, to kick off the mobile group stages. I think we've seen more goals in this game than we did in any of the console matches. No, I tell a lie, there was a 3-2 game in there, last. So either way, the average, you'd imagine, is certainly a lot higher. But 15 minutes to go. Neopon 3, Jamorn 1. Eze, nice double touch. Oh, beautiful goal. And that makes this last 10 minutes or so very interesting indeed. Jamorn makes it 3-2.
Yeah, well, when in doubt, go to Showtime Eze. It's a brilliant, brilliant individual goal, and that's a sign of what Jamorn can do. He's patient, but when he gets that chance, boom, double touch, bang. What a finish. Control shot right into the top corner. More of that, please. I think that's some good goals in this game, Harry. Some different types of goals, but that's probably the pick of them.
Both our mobile powerhouses here just flexing their muscles, it would seem.
So one last throw of the dice now. Does he make a couple of changes? He's right back in it. Very aggressive formation, as you can see here with the quick counter. I do feel like that's probably been what he deserved. Going down, that 2-goal deficit there, it is always a difficult one to get those goals back, but he stayed plugging away, and I do think he'll have a lot to say left in this tournament, and he could still get the equaliser.
Yeah, it's certainly not beyond the realms of possibilities here. With how strong of a player Jamorn is, I could see it happening.
Yeah, he's going to do it now. He's going to go for it because he's not to lose, and he's a free hit here with the next possession that he gets. I do feel like he'll probably be a bit disappointed. You can see how defensive Neopon has gone now in terms of his formation. You don't blame him, obviously, going to the 5 at the back here. I mean, he's 3-2 up. Sure. What are you going to do, I mean, that's what he's going to do. So, and a double DMF. But, yeah, it's interesting. Well, I think that's actually Jamorn's formation, if I'm looking at it correctly. So maybe he's using, a different style. But, yeah, he will learn a lot in this game, I think, as well. And against Neopon, who's one of the best players on this scene. I still think that he'll have a say yet in this. Will he get the equaliser though, is the question, as you say.
Yeah, maybe one big chance remains here, which is why our players are just taking that extended amount of time just to make sure that every tactic they have is right where it needs to be. But you're right, it is Jamorn sticking with that 5 at the back,
which is interesting.
There's that player of the week, Eze, on Neopon's side, whereas we see the Showtime Eze in the AMF position here.
Which is unusual, but I think it just goes to show that just because you're playing the 5 at the back doesn't mean you have to be defensive.
Sure.
Because he's got back into this game now using that formation, so it is doable. He's bringing a lot of players up. He's been super aggressive with the quick counter, so let's see.
Number 9.
Yeah, by my watch, there's about 10 minutes left in this game. So we will see if Neopon can hold on.
Number 18.
If he'll even try to hold on, that is. He might try and go forward and reinstate that 2-goal advantage he had. It would be crazy to do so, but the more that Jamorn pushes players forward, the more gaps will no doubt arrive in the midfield. This will be frustrating for Jamorn to play against.
Substitution in progress.
3 minutes remain. That's dangerous. Gets away with one though.
Yeah, just about.
Those blue shirts just trying to wrestle. Look at them all chasing the ball back. And there will be a 90th minute chance here. 6 minutes added on thanks to, 4 goals here in the second half.
Yeah, Neopon is just, because he's got that 5 to back, Jamorn, he's not been as pushed up. Neopon has just gone one blue now, and he's just going to take the sting out of this and pass it around, from left to right. He clears it, he's going to try to recycle it back, as you're seeing here. Back to keeper, and that's what he's going to do. And he's right to do that from a tactical point of view.
Not even a snip in it following that second goal scored by Jamorn. It was all Neopon, the possession, the passes on point, and some people might be disappointed, but that's what you need to do. Yeah. Neopon securing 3 points. 3 shots, 3 goals, 3 points.
Yeah, efficient, and again, clinical. I think that Jamorn will probably be a little bit disappointed there that maybe he should have went a little bit more attacking, because we probably could have predicted that he was going to get that. Neopon was going to shut up shop, so to speak. And I know that, we want to see a load of action, but that's part and parcel of winning as well. Sometimes you have to take the sting out of games. And this one just exploded into life though, but it didn't explode into life until that first goal after 45 minutes. And then in the second half, it was just crazy stuff going on end to end.
Yeah, goals bookending the half-time break. We saw this one scored by Neopon. That was the go-ahead goal. And then almost immediately from the kick-off of the second half, it was Jamorn who decided that he wasn't quite done yet. That touch from Jesus was beautiful, and then we saw the controlled finish, as you rightly said, Barry. That blue power bar was enough to just caress that one into the back of the net to make it 1-1. But there were 3 more goals here in the second half.
Yeah, the goals came ticking fast, didn't they?
There were lots of goals, and for Jamorn, I think he'll be proud of how he rallied, but also a little disappointed in the final result. In the end, just left it a little bit too late, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so, especially with that 5 at the back. Like, he didn't shift off that, and even when he was playing with a more, he was still very defensive with his midfield as well. I think he probably just had to set up. But this was the winner of the match, I think. I know, obviously, Neopon scored another goal after that, but I think that was the real blow to Jamorn after getting in and just settling. He didn't even have a chance to settle into the second half, and he was back down again. He was back down with 1 goal deficit, and he's thinking, right, will I have another goal? And then obviously Neopon just does what he does best and just killed the game out, really. But a lot of positive signs, I think, for Jamorn as well. That's just a little bit of, I suppose, just a bit of a bad transition, I think, from his defenders. He just gets caught with an extremely simple 1-2. I get caught with those the whole time, Harry, and I'd be kicking myself saying, why did I press out? But it happens so quick, and you commit so soon with the defender that it's just blink and you miss it type of stuff. But yeah, Neopon has been very impressive today. I know you were saying that you think this could be a really good tournament for him. I think you could be right, because he's looked very impressive today.
Yeah, very impressive indeed. Now Yuki Takeda, 21 years old, with the first 3 points of the group stages. This was one to remind us all that Jamorn is here to play. Nice double touch into that Beautiful finish. A bit of a slow starter, isn't he, of these tournaments? You remember a couple of weeks ago in Barcelona, we didn't see him open the tournament on stream, but we did hear Rentao screaming against him when he was scoring goals left and right. I think in the end, despite being 2-0 down, Jamon was able to come back and tie 2-2, if memory serves. But definitely a slow starter, Jamon. The young man will have to fight in the rest of his games, as in the end it's Neopon coming out with the win here. A huge match and a huge win to start things off here for Neopon.
How both goal scorers for both teams were the same. Literally Jesus and Eze. So that's the funny, maybe it goes to show how similar they play. But Jamon did say that his matchup that he probably thought would be difficult was Neopon. So it's quite interesting to see how that played out. But let's go look at some of those other results that we have seen in some of the other games. Check that out, guys. How does that look to you?
Wow.
Loads of goals.
Yeah, that's a big margin in match 2. Obviously, Iniesta, we said about him at the start of the show, big shoes to fill. Last year's winner was also a Moroccan, Anten Tienez. So, yeah, looks to be in fine form, doesn't he, in match 2, scoring 5 goals.
Yeah, that's a tough. I mean, when you do concede 5 goals like that, it can also get into your head a little bit, where you're like, obviously depends on how the game played out. There could have been a couple of lucky goals in there, but yeah, that's a statement of intent. And I think Iniesta is now looking at, putting himself up there as one of the favourites with that display, especially as the 2 guys that have already played. Yeah, I mean, it's all to play for. I think Iniesta could be kind of like creeping up a little bit. He's going to be tested in the next game, though, against Neopon. That's going to be a good one. Jamorn will be looking to get some goals, and Christy will be looking to get back into it. So there's a lot of storylines forming together here.
Yeah, just a side note, completely off topic, for those interested. 4 different nationalities here on mobile, and 4 different nationalities also on console. I think that's one of the first times we've seen that in some time. Usually there's a permutation where, maybe a couple of Brazilians sneak in, but this time it's completely, it's a melting pot across our 2 platforms. It's great to see.
Nice, good little variety. But this is what our table is looking like. We had just seen that. Put that back on. Lovely. There it is. That is what our group. Oh, this is for extra 6 points. 5-4-1. Okay. The second part there. So what are you guys thinking about that standing?
Yeah, we're looking obviously at mobile here. Iniesta and Neopon, the 2 with wins out of the blocks. I believe off the top of my head, if I remember correctly, just shake my magic 8 ball, Iniesta and Neopon play each other next, and I think we have the opportunity to watch them. So we'll have a better look at this table after this next round of matches.
Be a crazy game, though.
Because potentially we'll have one of Jamon or Christy cut adrift.
Yeah.
But also we'll know out of Iniesta and Neopon who's the real deal.
That is it, and it could be a case of, like, when you've got a goal difference like that, it could stand to you as the tournament progresses, but if the result doesn't go his way, I mean, Neopon to me, I know we've only seen 2 of the players here, but Neopon to me looked in total control in how he was playing. If he plays to that standard, Iniesta's going to have to bring a serious style of play to beat him. But yeah, that is a big battle now. Scoring 5 goals is always impressive against these guys that you're playing against. It's not like me conceding 10 goals at home, when you're playing against somebody, a chump like me. But these guys are top of the range. So when you're scoring goals like that, you obviously are here to play. So yeah, I mean, again, we're going to get it. We're going to get drama, and I think the table will shape up quite nicely after this round.
So do you think 5 goals like that sends a serious message to the next opponent on what's going to happen in that next game?
Oh yeah, it has to. If you're scoring 5 goals at this level, I mean, it's really, really tough to do so. We saw across console, I don't think we saw more than 3 scored in a single match. So yeah, if you're scoring 5+ on mobile, that's definitely a marker laid down.
Yeah, I think so. It's just a psychological thing as well, is that now that Iniesta likes to score goals. Sometimes when you get, like, 2 goals up or whatever, you're going to settle back a little bit. Iniesta is saying, no, I'm going to score more. I'm going to score 4 or 5, so let's go. He wants to give us goals to commentate on and analyse,
Amazing. All right, well, let's not wait any further to see that next matchup that we was just talking about. So we have Iniesta versus Neopon Sweet.
ملقب اس ال ويز انيستا على عمر 18 سنه. تمثيل نادي ارسنال اللي هو فريق كبير وفريق عريق. صراحه انا ما عنديش فكره على الخصوم ديالي، يعني كل مباراه غتكون المعطيات ديالها، وان شاء الله يكون الخطه هي سهله 4-4-2. ان شاء الله واثق فيها غادي نعمل بها شي حاجه. ان شاء الله اذا وصلت للورد كاب غادي نفوز بها ان شاء الله يا ربي، وغادي نفرح صحابي وكاع الناس اللي ثاقين فيا وديروا النية.
Well, we heard there from Iniesta, Barry. I know our admins were a little worried about him because he was late to check into this tournament today. We were worried maybe he had Valentine's plans or something, but he is here, he is ready, and he will now face, as current group leader, the player in second place who we just saw, Neopon Sui. This will be a big match.
Yeah, he's going to have it all to do here, I think. But listen, he's here to win it all. And I mean, I always like in the interviews, it gives an insight into the players' mentality and their kind of makeup. And he's saying, listen, I don't know my players, but I'll take every match as it comes. It'll have its own course. And, you know, I mean, he's going to be tested here today, though, I think.
Well, indeed he will. He's in the home strip here and starting things out very nicely as Trossard cannot steer that one on target.
It's a half chance, good intricate passing again, good play, good build up, little triangle, kind of staggered triangle where he waits for the player to run in fully and then gives it back. Probably should have taken that on a little bit, but Neopon early warning signs for him. Iniesta, he'll be happy with that goal chance.
Indeed he will. As I said before, home strip for the Moroccan. Neopon will be in the change strip. Red cursor for him attacking this left side of the screen. Nice through ball to Gabriel Jesus. Eze's there as well, and there's the finish. Into that left-hand goal. Neopon Sui with player of the week, Eze, not that Showtime card, scoring first.
He scored in the last game as well, and Neopon looks to have fully mastered the runs up front, whether it's, you know, Jesus, whether it's Eze. That's a brilliant ball in there, and it makes it. He's just left free in the middle of the pitch, and it's a nice sharp control, nice sharp finish, bottom corner. That could be the difference today. Neopon has one chance, he takes it, he's clinical. Iniesta gets a chance up front, he skies it high over the goals. Again, I don't think you worry too much yet, but I think Neopon is literally, every possession I've seen him today, Harry, he hasn't put a foot wrong. He's picked the right thing to do pretty much every time he's got the ball in those areas, which is a slight worry for his opponents.
It will be a worry. These two locking horns entered this match top of the table after the first round of games. And Neopon, as you said, looks clinical here today. Making the right decisions, finishing his chances where needed. That's good patience though by Iniesta. Into Martinelli! Slides it home!
What a goal. Serious finish from Martinelli. It just kind of happened in slow motion. You could see that Neopon is keeping three players up the pitch, Harry. Not calling back those defensive, weaponry or their weapons yet. And he's just kind of being punished for it there. It's a beautiful threaded pass through. I think it's Declan Rice that assists, but taking on away from the outside curl finish. Kind of passes it into the net, Harry. Yeah, brilliant pass from Declan Rice. And then the left foot finish.
Oof. Where's the patience for me just to wait for that run? The finish was sumptuous. Nice and clean. Iniesta flexing his muscles, scoring the latest goal, tying things up here in the first half. Now a chance for Neopon to get his revenge into Jesus. Oh, it's another goal. They're coming in left and right here.
It's so clean. It's such good passing. No pass going out of play. Like passing lanes just opening up for him. The runs he's making in. He's letting the animations develop. He's letting the player runs develop. And again, it's a simple cutback, but all the work is done off the ball here from Eze. And he gets the ball, squares it across. And again, Harry, it's a simple finish. And that's where you want your strikers to be tapping the ball in from there.
I was wondering, with it being somewhat of a late night for Neopon, of course, 8 hours ahead of us here. We're well, just after 11 p.m. in Japan. Whether or not some of the concentration levels might just dip a little bit, but this guy's a professional.
Yeah. He's just played the perfect game so far today. He hasn't put a foot wrong, and everything he's doing looks to be coming off for him, which is crazy when you see it all come together.
You can see how much it means to these players, battling hard to try and represent the Gunners. Good tackle by Neopon though. And a chance for him to just settle down possession, probably thinking about in 10 minutes time, that half-time period. Does he try and get the last attack of the half? Does he maintain possession, or does he just keep playing the way he's playing? Just happy to be patient. Such a contrast to what we saw on console. It was almost like a blitz of pressing. And look at that, just standing still strike from Gabriel Jesus outside the box. I'd be very surprised if he scores many of those. Just feel things flowing Neopon's way here as Jesus turns, controlled strike, full stretch David Raya.
Yeah, and he's almost attacking with very little sprint. Like, he's just slowing the play completely down. It's almost disarming Iniesta that he's just not adding, and then he's just adding a little bit of pace.
Jesus from the tight angle. Neopon ending this half very, very strongly indeed. And that will be all she wrote in the first half. Neopon 2, Iniesta 1. You're right, both players respecting each other enough to just play at almost a pedestrianised pace.
Yeah, it's very slow pace for mobile even. He's just kind of like walking the ball forward, waiting for a player to close him down, then he's getting rid of it. Then he's quickening the pace a little bit, you know, with a couple of really short interchanges. I do feel like Neopon is looking very impressive, but I was just about to say, it's good to see their formations there. It's kind of hard to track the formations. Obviously, you can see this one because it's super, super aggressive from Neopon, but it's hard to track what Iniesta was doing. So he did say he was playing with a 4-4-2. He hasn't really changed up. That's just slightly modified. So yeah, Neopon is super aggressive. So far, it's working. Looks a little bit open defensively. That's the only negative I would say about his gameplay. But otherwise, he's been flawless, Harry. Really, hasn't he?
Yeah, hasn't he just? Iniesta having scored 5 in his first game. Should be feeling confident about trying to break those back lines. We saw that back 3. But he's so careful in possession, Neopon. And attacking-wise, when he has these bodies up front, it's almost difficult to keep track of these blue shirts. Here's Martinelli. Oh, he's beating his man, has he? Eze into the box. Saka waiting into Jesus. Oh, that would have been lovely. Still alive. And now Calafiori can just, again, relieve the pressure for Iniesta. Jesus. Now, can the Moroccan find a response? Both players playing very similarly, very patient. Martinelli. Declan Rice just waiting for that run. Oh, it was Madueke. But the ball couldn't just find its way through to him.
And he's so attacking as well that if he does get a chance, he's got so many players up front like this. This is lethal. This is so dangerous here.
Oh, lovely ball. Perfect waiting for Kai Havertz. Just needs to beat his man. That's a pen. That's a penalty all day long.
You could just see it opening up the minute he lost that ball. Iniesta slightly unlucky that he doesn't get a touch on the ball there, but it's 100% a stonewall penalty.
Yeah, it had to be done. It's Saka stepping up with the left foot. Oh, it's saved! Well, as an Englishman, I don't need to remind you about Saka and penalties, but regardless, that penalty could come back to bite him. Ended up to be the right position from Iniesta because, of course, no double jeopardy. He couldn't be sent off.
Yeah. So, well, I think it was just at a lovely height for the keeper there as well, and I think that would have nearly set the game, or would have finished the game off, because Neopon's looked in such control. But now we have a chance. We have a chance for Iniesta to get back into it.
That's the time. It's Havertz who scores the third. May have missed the penalty in Neopon, but he makes it right from the corner. 3-1 now. He
replaces one set piece with another. I mean, this is the penalty, as you say, Harry. He then gets a corner. It's just a simplistic goal, really, but it's, you know, the brilliance is in the simplicity of it. It's just 2 passes, one from the corner in, simple goal. Havertz again. A lot of spread of goals today scored by Havertz, Eze and Jesus. And that Neopon is so good in those areas.
Well, with 20 minutes to go, he looks home and hosed, Neopon, and don't forget, he won his first match as well, so that would be 6 points from 6, and it would guarantee him a place in the mobile final later if there is no response from Iniesta. So keep that in mind. Neopon is playing this last 15 minutes for a chance to feature in that final.
Oh, he's so open, isn't he? Front or at the back.
Yeah, no doubt it would be shades of what we saw in the previous match against Jamon here. Just try and kill some of that clock. He's given the ball away though. Could come back to bite him as Noni Madueke sets his sight on the goal, does he? Goes for that stunning strike, but just a touch too much there. Allowed Declan Rice to get a foot in. Trossard here for Iniesta. Martinelli just being patient, but the problem is time is not on his side here. Iniesta needs to get a good chance away here. Madueke just didn't pull the trigger. And Neopon will be happy with this. Ball in his favour. Time ticking down.
2 added minutes has been
Ball at the feet of Eze, and it's showboat time.
Yeah, he's showing us the tricks now, looking for a good goal, and there we go. That's what you can do when you're up, and you can enjoy it. And he's just put on a show here. With ball roll into the finish. Eze has been the man of the day, really, hasn't he? Across both cards, the Showtime and the Player of the Week. Both different styles, both different skills, but that player ID of Eze is unbelievable, and he's just so fluid in the hands of somebody like Neopon. It's a pretty goal, Harry. You love those skill moves. You love them.
Yeah, you know I do, especially on mobile, where there is such an innate skill to pull in these skills off. Also super cancelling. It's not easy whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a double ball roll. Right to left, left to right, finish with the right foot.
Ball roll, yeah, lovely from Eze, lovely from Neopon, and with 4 goals to his name now, he is a shoo-in to feature in that mobile final. What a performance by Naoyuki Takeda, 21 years of age. Has a huge YouTube following as well. I didn't realise. I was doing a bit of research.
He's a very popular guy. He's a very good player. I like these guys when they kind of show you how good they are at the game, but they're still able to interact and stuff. And I think Neopon strikes as that type of guy that, you know, he seems like a really nice guy, a really good guy, and then you can back it up with the gameplay. But that is a statement win if we were going to see a statement win. Yeah. NES is coming in. I mean, Chazelle was mentioning it earlier. He's coming in, 5 goals scored. And now, like in his last game, he's restricted to 1 goal there, and he concedes 4. I mean, if that's not a real statement to say, listen, Neopon is here to win this all out, he looks the strongest. I think that's been the performance of the day today across both platforms.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. It's not often we will see in a mobile match 9 shots and all of them on target. That is a comprehensive performance all round by Neopon. Naoyuki-san kicked things off with that Eze goal just after the 10-minute mark in the game, and it marked the first of 4 to come. That was just clinical from Neopon. That whole performance just nullifying Iniesta. This was the outlier, if you will, just afforded Iniesta too much time on the ball, and credit to Iniesta. He found the pass, found the run, found the finish.
He's very, I will say though, Neopon's setup, like he's very attacking, Harry. Like I'd be looking to exploit that and maybe just push him back a little bit and not give him those chances. Once he gets the ball past midfield and into these areas, like these areas here, he's lethal. So I think it's about stopping the supply rather than stopping the goals going in. It's nearly too late if you give him chances like this, where in these possession plays here.
Just even looking how high the The central midfielders are pushing up. I mean, it's almost like siege tactics with his formation. Neopon was constantly pushing the pace, constantly pushing forward. And a chance
there. You know, he had really solid chances, and he missed the penalty as well. And you know, it could have been a way heavier scoreline, but yeah, I mean, I would just be slightly worried if you were playing against Neopon. How do you stop him being so aggressive? I think the only way to do it, and that's why Jamorn probably had that 5 at the back set up to counter that. It just obviously didn't work out. So if they do meet again, it could be an interesting battle of defence versus attack.
So after missing the penalty, just moments afterwards, Kai Havertz to the rescue. And credit to Iniesta, actually watching the challenge back that gave the penalty away. I think it was just slightly mistimed.
Yeah, slightly. Just unlucky.
I think any other day probably gets the ball cleanly there. But did well to save the penalty, couldn't do anything about the corner, and this, at this point,
has been
knew
indicated.
the game was over. Take nothing away though by Neopon. Lovely ball roll into that right-footed finish. Nicely controlled. I think we saw it to be Iniesta controlling Declan Rice, just sort of jockeying towards the back. I think he knew the game was done.
I think he kind of knew. I think it was just as a good observation. He was just a bit frustrated, I'd say, with the game being over. That can happen as well, but it's important not to just drop the head. You know, he had a really good result in the first one. I'm sure he'll bounce back, but it can be frustrating when you're being bombarded with chances. And Neopon really put him to the sword there, in fairness to him. Like, he was very aggressive, very impressive, even with with 46 possession, but those shots, 9 shots on target. I mean, that's scary, like, if you're facing him. But yeah, very interesting game from Neopon. He's really impressed me today.
Yeah, impressive performance there, Giselle. I will say though, Iniesta needs to be careful. You can't, as Barry rightly said, you can't let the head drop. You can't give up, so to speak, because you have to think about goal difference could come into play a little bit later on. And imagine how you would feel if you were to lose out on a place in the final by 1 goal and then look back on that game. It would be tricky. So yeah, need to be careful.
I love how Neopon looked at that game and said, "Oh, he scored 5 goals in the last one. Don't bother me."
Yeah,
I don't
that doesn't
care.
bother me. He nearly caught him with the 5-1.
Yeah, nearly. That would have been a funny one.
Justice, yeah.
Exactly. That would have been a real one for Valentine's Day. So let's have a look at some of those other results in the other games that we have played today. Get a load of that, guys. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so Jamorn in match 4 able to bounce back with 3 points. That's a big one. 2-1 over Christie. That's obviously a very closely fought match. Sadly for Christie, I'm thinking that probably mathematically eliminates him. I could be wrong again. I tend to leave most of the referee stuff to the boffins in the back. I don't like tiebreakers myself. They confuse me, Giselle, let me tell you. But I'm thinking Christie probably has put himself with too much to do going into the last round.
And look, I mean, not to jump on that or anything, but like Christie, it's his first major tournament. I mean, some of the guys he's playing, I know yes, they're young. This is a Rising Stars pool in the mobile. It's a lot of young guys. But I mean, Christie, it's his first tournament. A lot of the guys that are playing have played before. I mean, even Jamorn there, that he's just faced. Like, he has experience, even though he's such a young guy. He's had experience of playing top guys. Yeah. But listen, I do think that the group, it is shaping up there. Jamorn right back in the mix now. If he can shake off that result, we were looking to see if he could shake off that loss to Neopon. He's done that, and now he's got a game up. Neopon versus Christie. I mean, Neopon is already through. That goal difference looks really, really like he's going to top the group as well, Harry. So, I mean, he's probably been the most impressive player that I've seen today.
Yeah, most definitely. And again, time difference does come into play. You think about, plus 8 hours. We're approaching midnight for Neopon, so going to be very interesting, very, very interesting to see exactly.
You saying that his opponents should slow the gameplay down, go into the pause, it's ticking on, and be yawning down and trying to stimulate him yawning and try and get him to tire out.
He's got about 40 minutes left of Valentine's Day, right? There's no need to ruin it for him. I'm sure he's had a lovely day. He's in the final. I think it's important for him that he just can take his foot off the brake a little bit. It sounds almost dangerous to do so in a group stage match, but when it is running a bit late and it's the concentration starts to slip, it's important you take those kind of miniature breaks. So I agree, it's nice for him to know that he's kind of home and hosed, as it were, going into the last round of group matches here.
Yeah. So we've seen 2 games ourselves from Neopon-Sui. What are your thoughts on how you think this next game is going to go with Christy, based on what you know about Christy?
Which isn't a whole lot, to be honest. The main thing that we can note from the qualifying round previously is that he beat Rentao, who was the world champion from 2024. Now, Rentao this year is already qualified for the World Finals. He won in Barcelona a couple of weeks ago. So Christy, by no means, 16 years old, he's by no means a pushover. He knows he can go toe-to-toe with the best players in the world. Very important for him to use this as a learning experience. 16 years old, Christy, you're in a region that is sometimes difficult to qualify from. The fact that you've done it once means you can do it again.
Yeah, and I do think the step up as well, when it is your first tournament, it's like anything. I mean, he's going to grow into it as he plays more, and he'll understand, right, I shouldn't have done this, I should have done this, I should have been more aggressive, I should have been more confident. He's still only 16. I mean, Jamorn is kind of an outlier in that he's so experienced at such a young age, which is crazy. He's like a prodigy. I mean, he's only 15, but he's so much experience. So I think holding him, Christy holding himself to that standard is probably a little unfair. I think we'll see him again, but I mean, I do feel like that this match, he probably just needs to play a little bit now. I know we hate saying it, play for pride or whatever, but he probably just needs to play and express himself fully, because he is mathematically, out really. But yeah, I think that he can just gain experience. That was one of his main driving forces in this, and he likes to play fast. That's why he's probably conceded a lot of goals. Maybe he needs to get a bit more tactical. But yeah, I mean, again, it's set up nicely, I suppose. And then in the grand final, which we'll have as well, it's going to be good as well, I think. But yeah, this match, I think it's a tough one to call. It depends, because they might just go for it, but then energy is a big factor as well, as Harry keeps saying.
Amazing. Well, let's not wait any longer for our final match of the mobile group stages. We have the Japanese and we have the Americas regional winner, Neopon-Sui versus Christy. Let's go.
My name is Christian Ahmed. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. Representing Arsenal FC is a huge honor to me. My game plan going into the league cage is simply to win my first 2 matches and take a more relaxed approach going into my final game. I am confident that I can finish in the top 2 because I trust my skills and I know how hard I work to reach here. If I reach the world finals, my goal is to win it.
I feel we've been a bit unfair on Christy there, obviously speaking about his intentions before the tournament. The situation he finds himself in now is very, very different to his aspirations and what he would have expected. But we will get to see our first look at Christy, the young man from Jamaica. I think we had him down as 16, but I think in the VT he said 17. So maybe he had a birthday
Happy
between...
birthday, Christy, if you were 17 recently.
Yeah, between the recent days, but he, sadly at this point, cannot find himself in the final later on. I could be wrong in saying that. Again, I'll leave that to the referees, but goes up against a man who is definitely already there, Neopon, who has passed every single test so far today.
Yeah, I think that Christy, obviously, with her first time seeing him on the stream here, it can be easy to look at the results of the games and say, yeah, look, this result, obviously he got blown out this match or whatever, but I don't think people understand the difference between playing against guys in qualifiers. Obviously the talent pool is still strong, but these are all against regional winners. They're all regional winners. They're all against guys that are at the top of their region, and it is a different skill set. It is a different skill level that they're playing against. And as his first major tournament, that might have been something that he probably wasn't fully prepared for. But obviously, he could still get a result here today, which would be nice for him.
He could. He's definitely a man to watch for the future, coming from Jamaica. Here is Erdegaard here, Neopon I wonder if we'll see a bit of that showboating style here, Barry, purely based on the fact he doesn't really need to worry about this match too much.
Yeah, and I'm just after thinking there, has anyone had 9 points? Has anyone actually topped their group with all wins?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a first for the tournament as well, or for the events, the club finals across the board. So maybe Neopon is looking to chase that and say that like he was the first to do it, or the only to do it so far. But yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously there's a difference between, with the showboating. I think what Neopon will be doing in this is he'll be figuring things out. He'll be trying different things with the safety blanket Harry of, listen, if I lose this game, I'm still kind of there. I'm still qualified. I'm still top of the group. Well, unless obviously with Jamorans, but then he has the head-to-head. So I do feel like that. Yeah, he will have a little bit of showboating here.
Oh, he's through here with Eberechieze. For the second game in a row, he's going to have a penalty.
Again, it's a late challenge. He just misses the challenge again. And will he score this one now? I mean, chances are he will. Is he going to trust Saka again, Harry?
Oh, I wonder.
No, he's
changing it. He's changing it. Don't blame him.
He's taking it with the goalkeeper.
No. Come on, David
Panenka. Surely Panenka.
He cannot get on the score sheet here.
Straight down the middle. That's one for the history books.
The first time I've seen a goalkeeper score in an official Konami competition. That's the first time in my 6 years of doing this, Barry, I've seen that.
That's crazy. I mean, we talk about the showboating style of it, but I mean, he's in a position of power here. He can play from a position of power where he can do these things. It's just straight down the middle, and I mean, this is just, as you said, Harry, it's the first time you've seen it.
I mean,
you've seen it all. You haven't seen that yet.
Manuel Neuer be chipped from the halfway line not once but twice in the same match. But I've never seen a goalkeeper score from the spots. Neopon showing us all kinds of different things. David Raya on the score sheet. I mean, now Yuki-san, you have to defend this attack first, but that could have been an unkind deflection. I feel like maybe he's wanting to put on a show. He's getting mate there in Japan. He's wanting to, give us something entertaining to talk about here.
Yeah, and he has a huge following, as you said as well, and there is a bit of a kind of a showman-esque kind of style to his content, I suppose, in that these guys are so good that they do like doing different things and testing different things and getting different clips and. Yeah, we love to see it, but I mean, is there a fear of him kind of slacking back too far and taking it into the final? I don't think so, but time will tell. I mean, we'll have that narrative if he does end up losing the final, of course, but I think that he's just enjoying it now and trying to make the most out of it. He knows he's true. And for Christie, I mean, it's not a disrespectful thing. I think it's just he has to get back into this game by any means possible now as well. He'll look for maybe a knock on here, a corner.
Oh, there is that knock on. Straight into the hands of the goal scorer, David Raya.
Something you didn't think you'd be saying today.
2 added minutes.
You've got to adjust your set to whatever you're watching this on. Zubimendi. Oh, that's a lovely ball to Havertz. Oh, what a finish to a brilliant move by Christie.
But Christie's saying here, I'm still here today. I'm not gone anywhere. I might have struggled in the earlier games, but I'm looking to beat the group leader today. It's a nice goal, Harry. It's nicely worked.
Adjust. There were some fine margins in this one. That ball is picture perfect.
Perfectly
right
weighted.
Onto the toe of Havertz. The finish not too bad either.
Yeah, that weighted pass just beautifully threaded through. Lovely finish.
Wonderful stuff by Christie. Right at half-time as well.
Yeah. Havertz has been very impressive today, I think. You called it in the first game, I think, as well, Harry, where you said that Havertz will have a lot to say. He has had a lot to say in these games. He seems to be like the perfect blend of strength, movement, physicality, but then when he gets the ball in those areas, he still can finish.
Yeah, a bit of technique.
Yeah, the technique is there as well. So he's an interesting player to stop, especially in this format here with the Arsenal squad. He seems very dangerous.
Well, you can see as we kick off the second half exactly why so many players try to qualify to represent the Gunners at the World Championships. Kai Havertz, Ebereche, Eze, a strong back line. The likes of Odegaard, Declan Rice in the midfield. Good fullbacks as well, Calafiori. So many good players at your disposal. Eze inside to Jesus, who just can't quite get it out of his feet. Now a chance for Christie to resume exactly how well he played at the end of the first half here to start off the second. Zubimendi on that far side. Martinelli can't bundle that one through. Good feet by Eze means the ball retains into Neapon's possession, but just like that, it's turning over left and right. Both players really going for this, nothing really to lose for either of them.
Yeah, it's sloppy, isn't it? It's a lot sloppier than what we've seen so far from Neapon, but that's to be expected. He can just take the foot off a little bit. He's doing the right thing as long as he doesn't take the foot too much off facing into the next game, because it will be a difficult one match for him.
Strike back by Saka just makes Christie second guess, and now Neapon is just waiting to see where Jesus will make his run. It's an important touch. Christie surviving. Just trying to twist and turn there, couldn't quite do so. We'll have to look into kind of the gambit between that Showtime SA card and the Player of the Week, what the differences are, because obviously some players opting for that Player of the Week item. I mean, either way, as you said, the player ID is animation
really strong this season.
So very good.
Like a lot of people watching at home will have favourite cards where they'll have their team built around different play styles, whether a card is a whole player or whether a card, you know, different play styles of midfield, creative playmaker. But I think with some cards, it doesn't really matter their play style as much because they've got a perfect blend of skills and stats. And I think Eze does fit that mould. But you're seeing it today where you have certain positions that are coming to the fore all the time. Your Declan Rice's, how many balls he's intercepted today. Kai Havertz coming to the fore as well. The back line is superb as well.
And there we have it. That is the referee blowing the whistle for the full-time score. Neapon 1, Christie 1 in a game that was ultimately didn't make a difference to the group stage table, but for both of them it was good to see, really. Christie come out and put his best foot forward against the player who has bested everyone else in this group so far.
Yeah, I think he was quite impressive. I mean, looking at him there, I mean, he wasn't, you know, he didn't really do much wrong. I mean, you would like to see him again. I mean, he definitely has the talent. He definitely knows what it's about now. And I think this will stand to him. I mean, Neapon is obviously looking at winning this out completely. I think one thing that I will say is I think that this Arsenal squad is really suiting Neapon's style of play.
Yeah.
You can see, obviously, we don't have many goals in this one. It was kind of, you know, just playing it out. But obviously, this was the chance through. Again, it's that man that you said, Harry, Eze. He is the man you picked at the start of the competition. He is the man. And yes, as you said, your eyes do not deceive you. That is the goalkeeper scoring and celebrating into the camera. I think he celebrated to me and you and Giselle here in the studio. He's loving life.
I think so. And perhaps just a nod to Saka there, just telling him how it's done. Obviously, depends on the control scheme you're using on mobile as well. With penalties, usually it is kind of middle, left or right if you're on the traditional, but if you kind of point and flick, you can be a bit more manual about things. But I imagine most of these players are going to be using the traditional control scheme. That was the goal in reply by Christie. that just kind of turned our heads a little bit. It was really, really well done, that through ball.
Yeah, it's a lovely through ball, and again, that's another card. He has those skills to put those passes in, and then the first time shot Havertz up front is nice. I do think as well, it's an interesting point you mentioned, Harry, about the player selections. I know we don't, go into it too much, but we try and give you little tidbits along the way when we see the cards they're using. There's definitely a big debate there, or a big kind of like conversation between Eze's cards, his Showtime cards, and magnetic feet cards. He's been brilliant on console. In this, Neopon has excelled with the more direct Eze, as you see here again with the penalty. Like, that's a position that Eze probably shouldn't be picking up, but he does because he's so good in the game. And I do feel like that is going to feature strongly, not just here in this competition with the club events, but whoever is in control of Arsenal. There'll be serious talents to choose from and serious players to choose from going forward into the groups or into the World Finals.
I do wonder if Neopon, and that's a really good point you make, if Neopon, because the magnetic feet sometimes can mess up the timing windows on mobile, which honestly on mobile so slim as windows. Whether or not that is an intentional thing, or maybe he just didn't have magnetic feet as available to him, but either way.
Because Jamorn is using the other Eze. That's right, the magnetic feet. So, I mean, it's probably, again, you do get it in your head sometimes. You always have favourite cards, and you're saying, like, I want to use this card, I like using this card actually does it for me. But, I mean, you can't argue with Neopon's selection so far, he's been perfect.
He certainly has.
Slight blemish there with the draw, but I don't think he'll be bothered too much about that.
He won't mind at all. Christie, with his first point on the board of the group stages as well, had more possession, more shots, and more passes, Chazelle, over the group leader, but this wasn't really the results that we were looking forward to seeing. We have other results elsewhere that obviously hinge on who Neopon will be facing in that mobile final a little bit later on.
Exactly. What did I see? David Raya score against David Raya.
You did.
We saw it, right?
Yes, you did.
Insane seats. Absolutely insane seats. But this is what the other results look like right now.
Match number 6, Chazelle, look at that. 3-2.
Yeah.
It was in the end.
Is back.
Jamon is back indeed, despite losing 3-2 in his first match. He is well and truly back. I mean, all of his games today have been so close. 3-2 loss against Neopon, 2-1 win over Christie, and then another 3-2 in match number 6. That's a shame for Iniesta. I think he'll be disappointed given how his day started versus how it finished.
Exactly, yeah. It's been a bit of a trajectory, a bit of a difference, and a bit of a different change going on there. But let's have a look at the stand-ins and possibly some of those brackets and what that's going to look like going into the finals. Look at that, guys. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, after the group stages, I mean, that's all done and dusted now, Barry. We're down to the final 4. We started with 8, we're down to 4, but in the end there could only be 2. We have Nexa and Hassan Pajani surviving the group stages on console, and then on mobile, as we just saw, Neopon with a bit of a victory lap. Jamon, though, with the big victory in that kind of do-or-die match against Iniesta, because I believe if he had tied the match, I could be wrong, I think he would have lost out perhaps on goal difference.
Yeah, you're right.
Scored, so,
He had to win that last game. And I do feel as well with Jamon, he is relatively a slow starter in some of these events, isn't he? I mean, you did mention that point, that he kind of starts in the first game out. He starts a little bit slower, and then he grows into it. And I think that could be worrying, I think, for the rematch in the final with Neopon. That's probably the final that most people would have picked, in fairness. The console, obviously, with Nexa and Hassan Bajani, that was kind of a toss-up as to who would actually, get the results. But yeah, I mean, we do have 2 good finals, I think, ahead of us there now. And I think that these players, whoever's going to win this one is going to earn it. I think we'll see a little bit more tactical battles come in now, Harry, as well. Yeah. Especially we've got the 5 at the back, Jamorn, versus, the 3 at the front and the 3 at the back, Neopon, which is always exciting to see, and a rematch there from the group stage. Will Jamorn adapt slightly? He probably will. Will Nexa or Hassan Pajani adapt? They probably will. So
2 amazing finals to come. I cannot wait for these at all. Whoever wins each of them will be worthy representatives of the Gunners at the World Finals.
Definitely. So obviously we have the console grand final coming up shortly. But what what are you guys' expectations for this big game? Nexa versus Hassan Pajani. What are your expectations? What are you thinking? Thoughts? Everything.
It's so tricky, isn't it? Because we didn't get to see their match in the group stages.
I'm glad we didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm glad. It adds to it. It adds to the mystique.
Yeah, it was Hassan, I believe, that took the points off of Nexa in the last kind of 2 or
2-1,
die. So it was really close, 2-1. I think this one really could go either way. I'm not sure which way this one could go, and I hate to kind of sit on the fence, but that's what I do best. If anyone's been watching the club finals, you know I'm the expert.
Sitting right there.
I think Hassan will be looking at this and saying, right, I've already kind of beaten you once, and when you do beat somebody and you're playing again, it's very difficult to beat them a second time, especially with the talent that these guys have. And Nexa will have made micro changes to his squad, his setup, and as you said, Harry, maybe he used it as a testing grounds and said, listen, you need to beat me to even qualify. I'm already safe. You throw whatever you want to throw at me, I'll chill. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. But I'm going to go into the final as very confident in my play, because I've got to the top of the group. So what 2 unbelievable matches that we're going to have here, and all things considered, I think we're going to have an extremely talented champion on both platform here, representing the mighty Arsenal. So I do feel that the console is kind of a difficult one to call, because there's a few veterans in there, a few really top talented guys. But I do think Nexa and Hassan will feel like, we deserve to be here, we deserve to be the champion. And I think the mobile as well is the same story, really, isn't it?
Definitely. Well, just to throw a spanner in the works, guys.
Hold on.
A big spanner. No, joke, it's not a big one. The mobile guys are actually going to play first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's go. Well, it's hot. We're ready. We're ready for anything.
We're ready for that, yeah? So we have Neopon Sui versus Jamon. Tell me, guys, what are your thoughts on that? Predictions and everything else.
We got to see this 3 matches ago, and it was a 5-goal thriller, if you remember. Jamon just left himself with too much to do later on.
He did.
It was 3-2 in favour of Neopon, but something tells me the battles that both Neopon and Jamon have been in since then, it's going to give a bit of a different complexion to this tie. Will Jamon have figured out Neopon's tactics? Will he have adjusted his own team? Will he have learned some things along the way? I think those are all
as well
questions that will be answered.
He's played so well, whereas Jamon hasn't. Well, from what we've seen on the streams, like Neopon has played really, really well. Is there another gear for him to go, or is it going to start going down a little bit, or even enough? Whereas Jamon looks to have got right. I got a bad result in the first one against Neopon. I probably wasn't tactically set up the way I wanted to be, and then he's after getting the job done now to get to this stage again, and I think he'll be very, very happy with that. He keeps showing up in these club events. He is going to be tested. He's already been tested, but he just keeps coming back. His mentality is unbelievable for a young guy. But Neopon, I think that that last game, he just needs to ignore that now. That wasn't really playing for anything. Jamorn is coming in a bit hotter, I think. I think I'm going to be interested to see the setup. That's what I'm going to be interested to see in now. Will Jamorn back himself and say, listen, I can actually withstand your quick counter play or your counter-attacking play and invite it on and then hit you on the break? Or will he do a slight change and maybe modify a little bit so he has more options? The problem with having those 3 at the back for Neopon is he's open. He has been open today, but nobody's been able to punish him enough to actually warrant it on the scoreline. So that's a concern, I think, for Neopon.
Yeah, Taya, who is happiest most about this, just a very quick one, Giselle. Neopon, 8 hours in front of us here. So what is that, approaching midnight in Japan at the moment?
It is.
The concentration levels, they don't need to hang on as much.
Yeah, you never know. It might actually go in Jamal's favour. You actually really never know. But that beautiful trophy is what they're playing for. And as you said, it's not only just that. They are also playing for something even bigger, the golden ticket to represent the Gunners in the World Finals. So it's going to be a massive game. Do you guys have any predictions? I know you want to sit on the bench.
I'm going to go first. I'm going to go first so you can copy me.
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to say, I think Jamorn is going to do it.
Wow.
I think he's going to do it.
Third time of asking.
Yeah. It's just a bold statement.
That means I have to copy you now because you went first. No. To counter you, I'm going to say Neopon. He's looked faultless today.
We're just keeping it, like, between us, we're keeping it even keel. We're not picking favourites.
Exactly.
But I think Jamorn I think this could be his time. The squad will suit him. I think he'll shake off that result. Neopon does do it. He'll probably deserve it because he's been the best player today. I just think Jamorn beating somebody twice in the same day, in the same event, is very difficult. So I think that's why Jamorn has a slight advantage.
Yeah.
And I'll go Neopon because Barry went the other way.
Because you're the other way. Yeah,
Exactly.
you have to. You kind of have to give a varying kind of result there, right? And we got to see quite a bit of Neopon in some of those games you saw earlier, but I think we only got to really see Jamorn once, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah.
What do you guys think he's going to bring into the game?
I think he definitely needs to adapt. Based on how we saw him play earlier on against Neopon, I mean, he was 3-1 down with just, I mean, what was it, about 70 minutes left?
Yeah.
He needs to keep things a bit more tight. We need to see him really push the pace a bit more early on, go toe-to-toe. But the problem we've seen when players come up against Neopon, as soon as they try and push the pace,
he's lethal.
It's just lethal. There's so many players with his formation that it's difficult to keep track of it.
That's a concern. That is the big concern I have, and maybe I'll change my prediction. No, that is my big concern. Is that, like, the setup that Jamorn had in the first game against Neopon, it was like perfectly set up to counter what Neopon did. But as Harry is after reminding us all, Jamorn is looking at, he's down 2-goal deficit, 3-1 down, and you're thinking, like, what am I doing wrong here? I had the defenders back. Neopon was still getting the gaps. He was still finding space, and he was picking exactly what to do correctly. So I do think that if Neopon is going to win this, he just needs to repeat that. But can he repeat it at the same level that he's done so far today? That's going to be the test. And I do think, I know it's a point that Harry has mentioned, but I do think that the tiredness could come into it a little bit as well. This has been a long road at these club events,
100%.
and the qualifiers and everything. It's a long haul. It's a long way here, and then you've got a lot of games. I couldn't count how many games these guys have practiced with. So it's crazy time spent. But I think it's going to be a cracker of a game.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, we're going to gear up and get ready for this amazing game. It's going to be a really good one. I know you guys had spoken about who you thought were quite good coming into the games in terms of the players. And I know you spoke about how much Havertz has kind of put into it. Who do you think is going to be like the man of the match in this final? Who do you think is going to really pull it out of the bag and give us a really good game? What player? Go on.
I had to choose one. I think it's Eze. I think he has been all over the pitch for Neopon. I feel like he just has... He knows exactly where Eze's going to be in exactly the right moment, if that makes sense. He's always looking for him as a focal point of his attack. I'm looking at Eze to be that one that if Jamor's not careful and doesn't keep tabs on, could really unlock the defence. Yeah,
I think Eze is definitely the man, like, all over today. Every card that we've seen of him has just been electric. But I do feel like that this match, if Jamorn is to win this game, I think he'll win it midfield in terms of his defensive shape. He needs to step forward a little bit more in this game and dominate midfield. He needs to quicken the pace against Neopon and catch him when Neopon's not set at the back. So I think that could be it. I mean, Declan Rice is one that I always look for to dominate the play from midfield. And for people at home watching, just as a little side game or a mini game that they could do, count how many times Declan Rice gets on the ball, intercepts the ball, gets a foot to the ball. He's crazy. He's just a brilliant destroyer or an anchorman, whichever card they're using. So I think Declan Rice could have a lot to say about this game as well, Harry.
Yeah, I think so, and it's an interesting point you raised because you were talking to me about kind of the current state of eFootball and how people are kind of leaning towards that destroyer play style
now,
rather than that anchorman. So it'll be interesting to see if we can dive deep enough into the tactics, if that could make a difference. But for me, it's Eze. For you, it's Rice. In the end, it's going to come down to either Neopon or Jamor.
And a quick yes or no answer from you guys. Showboating in the finals.
Yes.
I love it.
So you want to see a bit more
of course, yes,
we're happy for that. We love the drama. Why not? And on that note, let's gear up and watch a crazy mobile final that is happening right now between Neopon Sui and Jamorn.
long 58 days since the first round of this competition began in the journey to represent Arsenal Football Club at the eFootball World Finals 2026. We're about to find out who will be representing them, who will be wearing the red shirts at the World Finals this year. Holding the mobile phone here on the mobile platform, it is Nippon 3 in the home strip against Jamon in the away strip. Barry, these two have been definitely our two best in the group stages today.
I agree. I think it's the final that people probably expected, and probably I think that both guys have deserved to be here as well. I do feel that just as we're opening up this, you can see the change. There is no change from Jamon. He looks to be playing the 5 at the back, so he's sticking to that, which I do rate the confidence. But if he concedes early doors as he could here,
double touch into the strike as they will latch onto it. It's Nippon turning the screw here early on. It's a beautiful super cancel. Controlled strike came afterwards. That's the type of pace that Nippon's playing at today.
There's Kai Havertz again. It's a lovely little staggered shot. It's a great save. But that's the worrying sign again. I mean, I have to question if Jamon loses this. Is the 5 at the back suiting him as much against Nippon? Against other opponents, yes. We've seen him qualify for the final here today. It suited him be defensively, compact at the back with this Arsenal squad. But Nippon doesn't seem to mind the 5 at the back. As you just see here go full blue, he doesn't want to be caught in the counter-attack here, which Jamon is hoping to do a bit more of today.
The corner comes to nothing, but this is Jamon's third time at the club event finals. Made the grand final at Old Trafford, aged just 14 last year. Then a couple of weeks ago was in Barcelona to try and represent the Catalan club. Was out in the group stages that time around. Here he is for the Gunners, again in a grand final, this time against Nippon, who himself has represented a professional club before. Here's Shamono, Ebereche Eze into the box, trying to find Jesus far side. That is a beautiful find, and it's Jamon into the lead.
It's exactly what he would have wanted. You can see here in the replay, for people watching at home, the viewers, just watch the fake shot into a super cancel and then the cross with the low pass. But it is that man that you highlighted, Eze, with the assist. It's a brilliant goal, just to start what Jamon wanted. He's playing on the front foot now. That is a brilliant opening from him. There's the fake shot, and he just waits for the physicality to come in. Simple finish in the end, Harry.
And for the first time here at the club finals, we've seen Nippon go behind. Confirmation, latest goal scored by the 15-year-old from Thailand, Jamon, who, might I remind you, is facing the player who eliminated his brother in the previous round, Chomkata. So perhaps this is a bit personal for Jamon.
Oh, what a tackle.
Strong challenge indeed. Half an hour gone here in the final, and Jamon, he scores first, and well, it's Havertz, the player you highlighted, Barry, that has gone in there, and it's Eze. Oh, it's 2-0. It is 2-0 to Jamon.
It's that Showtime Eze again. That celebration. He's justifying your selection, Harry. In fairness, Declan Rice is saying, come on, we're still in this. I like the confidence, Declan Rice, but that is an unbelievable second goal for Jamon. It's beautiful passing. The finish is unreal as well at the near post. Looks simple, but what a goal, Harry. What a start to Jamon in this first half.
It is the dream start for Jamon.
And this is dangerous now because Nippon is playing that 3 at the back versus the 5 at the back. Jamon is in dreamland here with 5 defenders and 2-0 up. This is why he's playing that tactic. This is why he's been so deep and defensive, because he's feeling like he can score against Nippon's 3 at the back, which he has done twice now.
And Nippon with some good possession here, trying to see what he can do. That one though not working out for him. Eze with the back heel, it's a 1-2 over the top. Eze's running things here in the final. And Saliba, scoop tackle, nicely done, and needed to be done by Neopon. Half-time rapidly approaching. Neopon needs to turn up the gears here. Eze into the box, control strike. Can't quite beat the first man. Will find Jesus. Oh, it's 2-1. Signs of life from Neopon. Now Yuki. It is almost midnight in Japan at the moment. But he has clawed one back here just before half-time.
Well, they've made us wait for a real end-to-end classic game, and this is shaping up to be that. Two guys at the top of their range, talent-wise, the peak of their powers. Again, it's a simple finish, but it's the build-up. Bit unlucky to go through the legs there of the centre-back, but Neopon needed that, I think, before half-time, didn't he, Harry? Yeah. He needed that little, entry point into getting back into this game. It's shaping up beautifully.
Might be one last chance of the half here. Eze skipped past Declan Rice and stood up across, but too close to David Raya, and I think that will bring the end to proceedings here in the first half of the grand finals. It's advantage to Jamon, who in his third club event finals is looking like about 45 minutes or so away from securing his place at the World Finals, which would be some achievement at just 15 years old.
Yeah, he's in the driving seat at the moment. Just keep doing what he's doing, keep being patient, maybe try and get another goal. It's in his own hands now.
It is indeed.
I've seen enough of Neopon in this match already, though, against Jamor. He does have enough to get back into this game and score even another 2 goals, I think, but he's going to have to do it fairly quick.
Of course, we've kicked off the second half. It will be Neopon trailing in the home strip, attacking the left side of the screen. For Jamon in possession now. Look at the space in front of the back four. So difficult to tell with Neopon if it is truly a back four, if it's a back five, if the wingers are coming back.
Yeah,
that's been a struggle most of the players have had to deal with here today. That's good pressing, good pressure by Jamon. And again by Saliba. Jesus. Havertz on the turn, he's turned his back completely! And it's 2-2!
There's the comeback. What a goal again. It's Kai Havertz, a sharp finish, a nice finish. I think Jamon was out of possession there, out of position, wasn't he? With trying to be as aggressive, but we've got game on here now. This has been an unbelievable final so far in the mobile. Neopon and Jamon. Lovely ball through. Eze gets a touch. It's a lovely turn. It's a brilliant turn. Almost like a ballerina dancer out there with that turn for a man his size. But the finish taken on away from him. He's been a real standout striker today for both squads and both players.
I think everyone in the stadium, me included, was expecting Havertz there to turn inside, and that's exactly what Jamon thought as well. But the wherewithal from Neopon to think, actually I have equally enough space on the outside. That was a really nice turn from him, and it's the reason now we're seeing this final half an hour in the game be tied to a piece.
Yeah, and you look at the setups there. I mean, Jamorn's 5 at the back. It is slightly modified that he is chasing. You saw Saliba up there, like pressing. He was nearly up with the strikers pressing. That did come back to bite him there. Versus the 3 at the back with Neopon squad that you're seeing there. That's really a modified. I mean, he nearly has 5 attackers up there. If you look at that setup, obviously the 2 centre midfielders, or the DMF and the CMF. Look how narrow he is as well. But Neopon is, you said it, Harry, it's kind of hard to track how he's set up. He seems to be manually moving his players quite a lot as well. So yeah, I mean, this is perfectly tied up. I mean, you're seeing these 2 players, the skill level that these guys have is really, really, really top draw.
Number 29, Kai Havertz. Number 9,
2-2.
Gabriel Jesus. Coming on
2-0 down.
Number 14,
the comeback is complete, but has he survived all that Jamon can bring to us here in this final?
Substitution in progress.
Can't afford to give too many passes away if you're either man so far. Here's Mikel Moreno, recently introduced for Neapon. Just caught dashing a little bit too much there. The heavy touch gives the ball away, and speaking of, there'll be another chance here for Neapon to break the lines, but it's Declan Rice again stepping up. Odegaard here for Jamon, into the feet of Moreno. Gyökeres! Jamon back in front! Can you believe it?
What a goal, what a turnaround again. This is just swinging from one end of the pitch to the next. 4 players, it's very hard to call it at the moment. That all starts with Declan Rice's interception, and it's patient play out wide. This pass here is killer. Beautiful ball in, beautiful touch, and the finish. Doesn't even drop at his foot, it's just a first time shot. Bottom corner, bang. That's what your strikers are there for. Set up by Moreno. I think it's that substitute that came on. I'm not too sure. I think so.
Both substitutes, I believe.
Both of them, yeah.
Both men freshly introduced just moments ago. And now, with just over 10 minutes left, plus stoppages, Jamon is back in the front foot. So Saliba needs to be careful.
It's the cruncher there. That's going to leave a bruise. There's no love lost here. Doesn't matter what day it is. But he's right. Tactically, he has to do that and reset his shape. Get back to that 5 at the back, nearly 6 at the back here.
Oh, Gyökeres and Moreno trying to do exactly what they did up the other end against him. What a story this would be for Jamon. Qualified to 2 club events before this, and on the 3rd time of asking is moments away before I curse him from qualifying for the World Finals at his 2nd attempt this year.
For the first time ever, Neapon has had to change what he's doing and go a little bit more aggressive.
This could be last chance here for Neapon.
Yeah, it is last chance. I mean, this is last chance now, right here.
Has to go forward, has to make some magic happen. There are plenty of red shirts to join this attack, but the ball must go forward. We will get this last attack, will we? Gyökeres shielding the ball nicely. That tackle is worthy of winning the entire thing. And I believe I'm right in saying Jamon has done enough. At his 3rd club event finals, the 15-year-old will be heading to the Canal World Finals. Jamon wins 3 goals to 2. And will represent Arsenal Football Club at the World Finals this summer. Congratulations, Jamon. What a performance in the grand final.
The best time possible to peak. This has been his best performance today. Yes, he made mistakes. Yes, he could have scored another goal there at the end. But I think that is a serious performance and a serious turnaround. I mean, especially when he gets pegged back to then go on and score another goal to win it. And look at the stats there. I mean, the successful passes. I do feel for Neapon. I do feel that it's very, very difficult to beat an opponent twice because you can kind of adjust to what the opponent has done to beat you in the first place, and that's what Jamon did. But this is a scary proposition, Harry. The fact that he's 15 years old and he is now going to his first ever World Finals after, going to be representing Arsenal. And I mean, the squad he has as well, that team really seems to suit him. What a performance. And he's finally made the breakthrough.
He's finally done it. And let me tell you, I remember seeing this young man at Old Trafford in 2025 when he made it all the way to the final at 14 years of age. We're thinking, this guy's going to be a prodigy. He's going to be the next big thing. Fell in the final on that day to Goo Games, and then seeing him in Barcelona a couple of weeks ago, being knocked out in the group stages. You're just thinking, when's the breakthrough? When's he going to take that next step? It comes just a couple of weeks later here for Arsenal Football Club. Jamon overturns the scoreline on Neapon in the final. And remember, when they met in Mobile match number 4, it was Neapon winning 3 goals to 2. So the presence of mind for Jamon will definitely feel good on 2 different levels. Not only reversing the scoreline, but also getting some vengeance for his brother in the previous round.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that Jamorn played that game correctly. Neopon didn't really do much wrong. I think he just lost that game. I think Jamorn earned, like he won that game rather than Neopon doing anything to lose it. I do think that when they look back at it, some of the goals that they scored there were just really, really, really good goals. And I do feel like that Jamorn just kind of figured out that puzzle that Neopon was to him in the first game that they played. So yeah, I mean it's probably a deserved winner, I think, all in. But you couldn't have said anything about Neopon either. What a player! I'm sure he'll be back again with the talent that he has. He's still young as well. Yeah, it's just, I'm happy for Jamorn though. I mean he has been, he has been thereabouts, as you said, Harry. He's so young that it's nice to kind of see him rewarded with that. But his gameplay as well, I think, is slightly different to other players, so that's going to be something to look out for as he progresses in and goes into the World Finals. He'll be dangerous that way.
Indeed he will. A moment to talk about Neopon Sui, of course, was undefeated throughout the group stages, 2 wins and a draw. That goal by Kai Havertz turning Jamorn completely the wrong way. I mean, 21 years of age himself, Neopon. He's not exactly a veteran.
Yeah.
I think moving forward, he's going to be one to watch for sure.
Yeah, and he definitely gave us probably the moments of the day as well, with the goals and obviously scoring the penalty and missing the penalty.
Yeah, scoring with David Raya.
Yeah, scoring with David Raya. He'll be able to take that with him. Yeah, I do feel slightly kind of sorry for him in that he didn't just push through there, but he'll be back.
Yeah,
I think he'll be back. I definitely think he'll be back. He's so good. I mean, some of his play today was just next level. Some of the best goals I've seen. Simple goals, but just the basics mastered to a really good degree.
But this was the goal, Barry, that sent him packing, sadly. This bit of brilliance. As you said, patient wing play by Jamorn, and then clinical finishing by the 2 substitutes, Moreno and Gyökeres. See the full-time whistle go to Jamorn, our mobile champion of Arsenal Football Club 2026. He will represent Giselle, the Gunners, at the World Finals this year. What a performance by this young man. Apologies there, Giselle. I don't think that, sadly, the people at home could hear you, but let me tell you, I think now we should be able to hear you. You're making some great points.
Hopefully everyone can hear me. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Amazing. Amazing. I was saying, Jamorn, 15 years of age on the big stage, big champion. I can just imagine the bragging rights that he's going to have when he's at school. I can imagine him saying, "No, Mum, not doing the dishes. No way. I am a champion."
First of the World Championships.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? First of many. So brilliant game from him. And I know, Harry, I do believe I heard you say that his brother was beaten by Neopon before.
That's right, yeah. Just to get to this stage, Neopon had to play Chonkata, who, by the way, is a FIFA E-World Champion for mobile of 2025. So clearly runs in the family, strong e-footballing genes. But I think Jamorn will be very, very happy. He gets his revenge for his brother in the mobile final. Couldn't do it in the group stages, but the final is where it matters.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a big one for him.
Yeah, he's going to be a great champion, and I do think that with this squad that he has as well, he'll kind of fine-tune that a little bit more. I do think he favours that defensive 5 at the back style system, but then still be able to push forward. That's, in fairness, how he played that was exactly what I was saying he should do, is like keep this defensive shape, fine, but don't be afraid to drag a few players out of position every now and again. He did that. Yes, he conceded a goal out of it, but I think that's ultimately how he won as well, because he was overloading. As Harry said, the goal he scored was from out wide, patient, brought back in and then finished, and that was the difference I think today between the group stage, where he was a little bit more tentative. He wasn't pushing forward as much, and Neopon probably thought he'd do that again, and he just did a little change to it, and that's why he's the champ.
Amazing. Well, let's have a look at the bracket so far. That Jamorn there
nice
as a
champion beside it.
Right, it does, doesn't it? Champion.
On his own.
I mean, that's the space you absolutely wanted to feel at the end of the day. If you wanted to be anywhere, it was going to be under that word champion, and Jamon's done just that. He can now relax for the rest of the season, start prepping for the World Finals whenever and wherever they will be. He will be very, very happy with his performance, and it would have been so frustrating for him if he came into today, his third club event finals, and still failing to qualify. I mean, it's a difficult format. It's really tricky to make through these tournaments, but a player of his caliber, I think he was well and truly deserving of the win today, and it would have been very harsh on him and his performances if he were to go 0 for 3 in club event finals. So yeah, congratulations.
Amazing. All right. Well, congratulations, Jamon. That was an amazing game that you played. But we still have another game to go, guys. We have another game to go. We have Nexa versus Hassan Pajani. And I know you guys touched on it before previously, but what are your expectations for this console final?
Oh, who knows? Who knows, honestly? I mean, Hassan won in the group stages, but Nexa looked pretty flawless from what we saw of him against Binong Boys. So
yeah,
it's genuinely difficult to call. I did say previously, penalty shootout.
Yeah, you did call penalties for this, so we'll give you that. We'll give you that. You said penalties for this. I agree with Harry. I think that, like, I know from playing the game, obviously not at this level, but playing the game, it's very difficult to back up, to beat somebody twice. I mean, you saw that with Jamorn there. You do have that little psychological thing where it's like, right, I lost the last one, I'm not going to lose the next one. You do have a little bit of hunger there and a little bit of, fight in you. Yeah. Nexa and, Hassan Pajani, they will know each other's play styles. They'll know how they actually play. So I think that's going to come into this as well. I think it'll be a big tactical, and Harry is... Yeah, it's definitely a good prediction. The penalties, if it plays out that way, we'll say this is why he's the genius. This is why he's the man. Yeah.
And now, without further ado, the console grand final. Let's get into it. Nexa versus Hassan Pajani.
Well, let's waste no more time. We have one champion. We need to find another. Will it be Nexa of France, or will it be Hassan Pajani of Iran? Barry. It's genuine when we say these two are too close to call. Yeah. Usually we have an inkling one way or another which side we favour, but honestly these two, varying play styles, but so evenly matched.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, you're going to see top-class gameplay here, and when I mention top-class gameplay, it's not like, 5-4 or 4-3 games a lot of the time. You're going to see defensive shapes, you're going to see the small, intricate details of the game that makes the game, a little bit more, I suppose, deep and tactical, and there's a bit of analysis to be done in it. You can see the shape that these guys have as well. Nexa has been the standout console performer today, right? They have had different paths, they have different play styles, they have different talent abilities and abilities that they actually bring to the fore, but Nexa has been the standout man. But Hassan Pajani, he just keeps showing up in tournaments. Obviously this is first club events, but in other tournaments he's very, very, very talented. He's very well respected amongst the community. I think it's Nexa's to lose in terms of he's been the standout performer today, but Hassan Pajani, again, I mean, whoever wins this is going to be an unbelievable champion for Arsenal console, Harry.
You're not wrong about that. Hassan Pajani in the red cursor, away strip, just stealing the ball away, and Nexa in the home gunner strip, that famous red and white. Who will be joining Jamon in the promised land? That's a nice bit of acceleration by Eze. This is Hassan Pajani pouring forward. Can he beat Nexa at the back line? Timber stumbles. Eze still trying to maintain possession here. Jesus with a controlled strike. Saka stretching. Cannot get there.
Brilliant dribbling. Loads of fake shots. Bringing the defenders out of their defensive shape. And getting that matchup. Nexa using a bit of matchup there as well. That's why he's kind of falling for those fake shots. That's what we're talking about, high level gameplay.
Chance for Nexa to venture forward here. The Englishman Saka cannot take that one safely under his spell. Nexa, of course, a two-time eFootball Pro champion. Havertz Calafiori, he's been just so difficult to beat, isn't he, at the back?
He's actually been the standout defender, I would say.
Definitely.
He's kind of been the main man that is thereabouts for player of the tournament, I think, in all of these
balance
games.
Going forwards as well as defending.
He's just so good at that position.
Certainly will be one to nullify if you're either Nexa or Hassan Pajani.
Yeah, it's very tactical, isn't it? There's defensive lines being moved up manually. There's players being tracked back. Saka's back defending. Declan Rice is roaming forward a little bit to create a bit of gaps if they do get the ball back. A lot of stunning passes, a lot of switches. Yeah, it's intriguing.
Just looking for that killer pass. Nexa happy to play the long ball tactic. It reminds me of Ismakabil, of course. His play style, constantly looking for that.
Yeah, you're right.
Very long crossfield ball for now, though. Hassan Pajani just outside the box. Couldn't wriggle his way through. Once again over the top towards Havertz, but that one should just go through to Dwyer. I think Hassan Pajani maybe was wondering if the goalie would pick that one up.
I nearly got a fright there. I nearly got a fright.
Half an hour gone. Nice movement there. Eze. Here's Jesus, just goes for goal. That was actually defended, blocked by Mosquera, was it?
Yeah, superb dribbling again from Eze. Attacking wise, as you mentioned, Harry, he has been the player to watch, hasn't he? Like, he's been so good going forward. Everything's come through him.
Yeah, 10 minutes from half time. It's so fascinating, isn't it? The way these two want to play. Hassan looking for more of a gilt-edged kind of chance, and Nexa's just going forward with relentless aggression. Here's Jesus just troubling Mosquera again. Just so tactical, attritional, plenty of switches, as you said, but within a moment's notice, it will just, like a flurry of punches in a boxing fight, there will be chances left and right, so do not blink. They say he's got plenty of space here near side. Hassan clearly trying to use those magnetic feet of his to great effect. He's gone for that really long-range control strike. We've seen that a few times.
He's looking for that, yeah. He's looking to cut in. It's that type of inverted winger movement. What a game. I mean, tactically, it's so intriguing right now. It's perfectly set up. The penalty prediction is looking good, like a safe bet, Harry, but I do feel there will be a chance or two coming. There is gaps there. I just think that they're just second guessing whether to put them in because they don't want to get caught in the break. You'll probably notice that with the passes. You can see there are 27 passes compared to 40, but I do feel like the interceptions tell the tale there. Like 7 versus 9, that's usually a lot higher. They're really dominating possession when they do get. They don't want to lose possession of the ball against it. They know, these guys know how good each other are, you know, so that's always dangerous. And of course, you know how good these players are from years of watching them and stuff. But I do think that the setups that they have, that 4-4-2 or 4-2-2, I do feel like that setup, it suits if you're going centrally, especially because you're set up with that back line. But as you mentioned, Calafiori has been real standout today as well, and he's somebody that we hadn't really mentioned before.
Yeah, that Showtime card looks to be playing almost a left-back role for both men. I mean, you'd imagine that would be kind of consistent throughout. I don't think we would see a variation on that going into the World Finals.
No.
Obviously, it depends on a very varying amount of factors that come into it. But either way, yeah, Calafiori, that left side just seems to be adding a bit of extra dimension towards Eze, and just supplementing that left side of the attack for both men. Defensively as well, so difficult to beat, so you'd imagine it would probably be a counter down that side that could spell the difference between these two. Either way, it's Hassan Pajani here, straight away from the kickoff to try and put some pressure on Nexa here.
Yeah, Nexa is going straight from kickoff, going full blue just to bring as many people back as possible. He'll switch that the minute he gets possession here and push forward, so that's where he's going to try and get the counter-attack going and the breaks going. Space is limited out there, I think, at the moment. They're just, both guys are really good in possession.
Hassan again, looking for that short front post corner to just flick on, create a bit of chaos at the back. Now some gaps are opening up. Here's Jesus, just needs to beat one man. He can maybe get a strike away, but Mascara with a vital touch. Still on here for Hassan. What can you show us, Mr. Pajani? Jesus into the box, turns Saliba the wrong way, controlled strike, and that's the first goal!
Well, you asked and he delivered, Harry. That's what he's showing you. A player of the week card again coming to the fore. It's just kind of come from that, but maintaining that possession. He is actually dominating possession now. This is how Hassan Pajani likes to play, controlling that play. I think it's the pass in here. I'm not too sure who. Was it Eze again? I think it is Eze with the pass into Jesus.
It is.
Sharp controlled finish.
Get a better look at it here.
There we go, what a pass.
It's the turn, just again.
Yeah, it's smooth, isn't it? It's fluid, it's smooth.
It's a beautiful turn, and it even catches Nexa the wrong way.
Yeah, he defends the wrong angle.
Gambling, he's going inside when actually there was, again, enough space to fashion a strong chance on the outside. That's consistent across both mobile and console.
Yeah.
It's good to see that.
And I do feel like Hassan Pajani, he probably has dominated the possession a little bit more than Nexa would like. I know Nexa doesn't need much possession. He's more of a counter-attacker, and he likes to be aggressive up front. But Hassan Pajani, this is dangerous zone now, or dangerous territory for Nexa, because if you have a confident and a comfortable on the ball Hassan Pajani, he's a different animal altogether, because he'll just be super patient. He'll very rarely give the ball away in a dangerous area. So if Nexa's going to get back into this, he either needs to A, change his tactical setup, which I don't think it looks like he's going to do, or B, just get more manually aggressive in game, Harry.
Yeah, we saw some of that aggression, manually defending. I mean, it's always a gamble.
It is a gamble, yeah.
Try and guess which way your enemy's going to turn, but that time Hassan was just getting the better of his adversary there, and that puts all of the pressure onto Nexa now. The Frenchman trailing here in the second half of our console grand final. Hassan Pajani is looking to try and turn two. He almost did. Almost doubled his advantage there. He would have been home and hosed, you'd imagine, at that point.
That would have been a good lead, yeah. Nexa has something to say it, though.
Yes, indeed. Sammy Mascara up there again. We wait and see which of our two brilliant players here will come out on top. It is so attritional as we pass the hour mark. Reminder, Hassan Pajani also won this matchup in the last round of the group stages. Declan Rice just into the box now, and Bucharest couldn't get a really good connection on that. It was a difficult angle. But another good chance for Hassan Pajani.
The Nexa just can't get the ball off him. Like, that's the problem right now. Hassan Pajani is given a masterclass in possession. Arsenal-esque, he's just holding the ball, not really. He gets shoved off the ball there, all right. But he gets it back straight away, Harry, and then he'll just retain that possession again.
It's very frustrating to play against. Saka. Inside again has Calafiori to deal with, but this is going to be so frustrating for Nexa.
Yeah, definitely.
So difficult when you give Hassan the ball. There's a reason he's a multiple-time gold medalist. Say inside, just super cancelling left and right, perhaps does a bit too much in the end. You can see the idea, just perhaps started with the wrong foot on the double touch. He's asking all kinds of questions of Nexa's back line.
Nexa's gone one attacking now, but Hassan Pajani has seen that and said, well, I'll raise you, you're one attacking to my double defensive shape, my double defensive line. So I think Next is going to make changes now. He's going to have to go for it because he just can't get on the ball. Yep. This is the danger with Hassan Bajani that we highlighted before the group stage even kicked off, and he didn't really show it on the stream before this, but you can see here, we didn't see the possession stat there, but I guarantee it's very high. Yeah. He just doesn't lose the ball, and it's very frustrating to play against that, Harry, because you can't do anything if you don't have the ball. Like, you can't, like, what can you do? He's pressing, so Next is going to have to just press up manually here now. Maybe he's using a sub tactic, I don't know, that we're not seeing, but he has gone slightly more attacking, I think, on the pitch. It's not really showing it here, but he's run out of time now, isn't he? He's run out of time against a player of Hassan Bajani's talent and skill level. He just won't lose the ball. That's the problem if you're playing against him.
It's a big problem. It's a big conundrum that he faces here as well. I'm seeing Odegaard, Madueke, looks like Moreno on as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Nexa, this would be a heartbreaker to lose, but you're right, he can't seem to wrestle the ball out of Hassan Bajani's grip. It's so infuriating to play against, and we've seen him before surrender possession to someone else. That was against Binong boys, but of course he had the lead. He had a 2-goal lead in that game.
Most of the pro players that I've talked to, you know, when you ask about players when you're doing analysis and stuff, they always say that Hassan Bajani, like, is a different player when he's up, when he's leading. He's a completely different player, which is very interesting as well.
Number 11.
That kind of mystique does add up to it when you do go down. Next is probably thinking that now, how am I going to get the ball back? How will I get extra possessions? He hasn't figured out that yet.
Number 21, Madueke. Substitution.
Well, time is ticking down. We're approaching the final, 10 in-game minutes from Hassan Bajani qualifying for the World Finals. Into the box here for Gyökeres. That would be really nice if he could finish that move.
Tucking all the way back though, with that defensive line, double blue.
Nexa just hasn't had a sniff in the second half. Could that change here? Zubimendi. Nice playing out of that congested midfield. Final 10 minutes now. Is there a late twist in this tale? Havertz, Odegaard dispossessed by Madueke.
This feels like the last kind of throw of the dice, doesn't it? Next has gone to one attacking.
Having a bit more joy here now though. Mikel Moreno can't knock it around the corner to a teammate. But it's better, at least Next is getting on the ball now. Whatever changes he's made seems to have worked so far, but Havertz in behind here has a teammate for support as well if he can find it. That's a vital tackle, clinical at the back, and I think you're right, this could be one of the last chances here for Nexa. Through to Moreno, can't connect with him, 2 minutes added on.
Just close it out now is what he'll be thinking.
Hassan just needs to hold on. There are no red shirts for Nexa anywhere near. Needs to win the ball back here really, really soon. But I think the referee's going to blow the whistle. And I think Hassan Bajani is your Arsenal champion. He's done it.
What a win.
His first club finals. What a win indeed, Barry. His first ever club finals.
Just a quick request today.
And he wins it.
He wins it. Look at the possession stat. Nexa couldn't just get on the ball at all. It was a complete domination in terms of possession. Nexa had one shot, really, compared to 6 from Hassan Bajani. And that does tell the tale there. And look at the interceptions. I mean, nearly double for Hassan Bajani. So he had double the possession. He had double the time on the ball. And pretty much in every stat, the passes, 57 passes to 97, 9 interceptions versus 16 interceptions. From a statistical point of view, that is very disheartening, I think, from Nexa, because he probably was the console player today that was probably the best player today that we saw across all games that we saw on stream, but he just could not get into that game, Harry. He couldn't get the ball, kind of. It was strange.
Certainly was the player of the group stages. Nexa, he was on some red hot form, but Hassan Bajani completely neutralised the threat in the grand final, certainly in the second half. I mean, the first half there were some sniffs, but the big statistic for me was the interceptions. I mean, 16
Yeah, that's
interceptions.
huge.
That for me says Nexa perhaps playing a bit too fast and loose with his possessions, and Hassan just built and built and grew in confidence, and you cannot do that against a player such as Hassan Pajani, our Arsenal FC champion.
A lovely goal as well. You know, it looked simple there, but it's the movement off the ball. And it's the gamble. He goes any other way there. Nexa's probably reading it, but he just does the unorthodox thing. That's why these guys are so good. We're looking at this in real time. We're saying, like, yeah, I mean, it looks simple, but it's the turn of the body. It's knowing what card that he's using. It's that little finesse dribbling / little burst away. It just looks beautiful there. Beautiful animation, and it's a very sharp finish. Nice finish into the bottom corner. But I think Nexa, listen, he's still young. I mean, we forget that he's a young guy because he's been around for so long. He's still won it all. He's still done it all in terms of the club events and stuff like that, and the Football Championship Pros and stuff. But I do feel that that game just slightly got away from him. You know what I mean? That game slightly got away from him, Harry, where he just wasn't able to get enough possession on the ball. And even when he did have possession of the ball, as you rightly said with the interceptions, he didn't have it for a long enough period that he was able to maintain a bit of pressure on Hassan Pajani. So that's something that he can learn from as well. I'm sure that he'll be back definitely in the future.
It was a very frustrating second half for Nexa. Hassan Pajani, our eventual